All right. So year, all that good shit. Jackson, 1616, one mic stand, all the salutations and everything. I'm still waiting for people to like kind of hop in, or what have you. I'm up on the Instagram live too as well. So if y'all want to join in on the actual conversation that we're having on the Zoom right now, the Tuesday nights is always for the Patreon family, Patreon community, what have you. But I try to go up on Instagram live just to kind of let everybody know that I'm going live on the Zoom, and we're having kind of like our weekly discussion of the previous episode. And if you're not on the Patreon, then you would only obviously have uh access to seeing the trailer that I put out on Instagram. And basically it was just talking about consent. We talking about how is consent low key unattractive. And if you watch the clip, I tried to really state obviously uh that consent is needed, consent is mandatory, consent is dope, all of that, right? We know that. But some of the points that I was trying to hit on or touch on in the episode were really from personal experiences, and just hearing some conversations, hearing some or being having some observations through several of my female homies or counterparts or what have you. And I've been in situations where shit, whose fucking phone is that? Oh, okay. I've been in situations where where I've waited to gather consent, or I've waited to get consent, or I've asked, is it okay if I do this, or is it okay if you do that, or do you like doing this, or do you not like doing this? And it kind of you could tell that the mood changed. You could tell that the mood changed. You could tell that it was an awkward feel. You could tell that uh it was the situation, the scenario itself was super swagless. It was super uncool. It was super it just wasn't smooth. Like it wasn't smooth, because what you don't want to do as a man, as a guy, you don't want to ever really assume that you have a green light. You know what I mean? I feel like when guys assume that they have the green light is when you can kind of like really get in trouble. But what also happens, like the flip side of that coin, is asking asking for consent can also be perceived as not being totally confident. It could also be perceived as like he's not aggressive enough, he's not assertive enough, he's not sure of himself enough, and that in turn is unattractive. So that's why I titled it what I titled it. That's why I spoke about it in the way that in which I spoke about it. And I this is the place to kind of get you guys' feedback, see how you feel about it, see if I'm on point, see if I'm way out of bounds. How do y'all feel about the shit? The floor is yours. Don't all go at once. Y'all niggas there? Can y'all hear me? Maybe y'all niggas can't hear me. Niggas ain't saying shit.
We can hear you, bro.
Oh, all right.
I'm about to get.
Give me a second, man. Give me a second.
All right. Well, Well, first then let me ask the women then, man. How do y'all feel about the whole consent conversation? How do y'all feel about what I said? How do you even feel about the question of is consent low key unattractive now that I've phrased it the way
when that shit happened, man.
Well, are you asking for consent before you do the act, or are you asking for consent just in general conversation?
I mean, it can depend. It can be either or, just based on what we're talking about. It could be, it could be right before the act if you're just really unsure. Or you could or you really like, okay, I'll tell you what I do. Like if it's in the act, right? I think I spoke on this. I'm very rarely, I was saying that I was a bad sex closer. That's kind of that's where my mind was coming from. I was remembering back on stories where I could have probably easily had sex with way more women than what I have. But the reason that I haven't is because I realized that I'm not a good closer at sex, because in order to be a closer, whether it's at sex, whether it's at being a salesman, whether you're a realtor, whether you sell cars, like you gotta kind of press people in order to do that. You gotta kind of press people. You gotta put a little pressure on people. You know what I'm saying? You kind of have to corner them in some way, shape, or form. You kind of gotta finesse them. You know what I mean? You kind of got to fast talk them a little something. And that's something that I've just never been comfortable with. So as a result, especially on some first time shit, like I'm gonna just sit back and be cool. I'm not gonna assume nothing. I'm not gonna put myself in I'm not gonna be overconfident. I'm not gonna be aggressive. I'm not gonna be assertive, especially like I said, if it's the first time. Like she could go ahead and set the tone for that. You know what I mean? But I feel like a lot of times that has backfired, because what has been said about me personally, after situations where maybe I've had a woman, you know, in my presence, or in my apartment, or in my crib, or in my room, or even in my bed, if I wasn't aggressive or assertive enough, it was frowned upon after the fact. So that's where my question comes in. Like, is really like consent, is it really just kind of unattractive? Because mind you, it's never really a conversation in my instances. There was never really a conversation after I wasn't aggressive, after I wasn't assertive. It was just a straight labeling of me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, to me, that just means like, damn, like my lack of assertiveness was a turnoff. The way that I was waiting to be granted consent was kind of a fucking turnoff. Like, why that nigga just ain't go for it? Why the nigga just ain't do it? Why the nigga just ain't make a move? What is he, pussy? What is he, a bitch? What is he, weird? What is he, gay? Like, I've heard all of those things. But
Well, I get it, because I personally hate that, because I understand men not being overly aggressive, or aggressive for that matter, because a chick can say anything, and next thing you know, you getting brought up on rape charges. Right. You know what I mean? Or looked at funny. Or so I understand y'all kind of got to protect yourselves. You can't just be going around grabbing bitches by the pussy, because y'all will end up on rape. Like so I get it. So I mean, to me, if we laying in the bed, to me, in my head, I'm like, well, I'm sitting here laying in your bed like this, cuddled up on you, we chilling. I kind of expect you to try to grab a titty or put your hand in my pants or something. But if you don't, I'm grown as fuck. I'm gonna let you know that that's what I want. I'm gonna put my hand in your pants. You know what I mean? And it's messed up, because I don't think women ask for consent as often as men have to. You know what I mean? Like, I could pretty much walk up to a dude and grab his junk and it won't be nothing. But if he was to do that to me, it'd be all kinds of problems.
Now, let me correct you on that. No, that's a problem. Don't touch me. Don't.
Let me say, said pretty much.
Let me
saying, like,
no,
if you see somebody.
No. I'm saying I'm speaking for the male population right now. Don't do that. That's not cool. It's not pretty much cool. Nah, don't do that. Don't do that. That's not cool. Don't do it.
It's not cool, but it could happen, and it won't nothing get said.
No. But we got.
You know what I'm saying.
But you should. I feel like you should change your mindset on it. I feel like
but that's what it is, though. That's real.
But
I don't mean just a random stranger. I don't mean a random stranger.
Real, but what is it? It might be real, but is it right? If it ain't right, then you should change your behavior up.
I didn't say I do this. I'm saying this is the double standard.
Tell it to the
I don't like do. Females don't really have to ask for consent. And a lot of times female think, as long as I'm in your presence or I'm giving you the vibe that I want you to do something, you should do it. But that's not real, because some guys don't know how to read messages, and some guys can read it wrong. And then now you feel uncomfortable, and you might, like I said, y'all got to worry about rape because a chick can say whatever. It could be consensual and the chick could say something crazy and y'all get in trouble. So
Yeah.
I honestly understand not being aggressive.
I think a lot of that too. I think one thing, like when we mention like rape culture and shit like that, because we really grew up in that. Like we really grew up in, God bless DMX, but he wouldn't have been able to be successful in this day and age, like with a lot of the songs and the language that he came out with in the 90s when we all loved him, like, you know what I'm saying. But that was the culture. And I think one thing that, like, whenever we talk about like the rape culture that we were brought up in or raised in, we always focus on like the part that men played in rape culture, but we never really speak about the part that women played in rape culture. And what I mean by that is like kind of how what you said, where the women's role in it is kind of like they expect for niggas to be a certain way. They expect for niggas to act a certain way. They expect for, well, if I'm in his bed, like, why wouldn't he try to fuck me? Like, that is part of the culture that we call rape culture. You know what I'm saying? But that's one of the parts that never really gets spoken about, because when we hear the word rape, we're always assuming that it's man towards woman. We're not really thinking that it's woman towards man or what women expect from men. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like that plays a huge role in just the mentality and just the mindset itself. Because, like, for instance, just to kind of go back to my personal experiences, it was probably rape culture that allowed the women who I didn't make a move on, it allowed them to think that it was okay to just assume that I was gay or assume that I was weird for not making a move on them, for not trying to fuck them, for not trying to grope them, for not trying to harass them or feel, or, you know what I'm saying? Like, and to me, that was weird. That was offensive to me or whatever. But, that's what they was used to. So when I didn't present that, now, because I'm the outlier, like, I'm kind of like I'm the weird guy. But I don't know, man. How do y'all feel about it though? Anybody else?
In the chat that I stopped grabbing bids or willy-nilly. That's something that I used to do faithfully. Like, see a good, nice, moisturized bid, just walk over and just grab that shit. And that was my way of flirting. And then until, not gonna lie, one day somebody almost punched me in my face on accident, but on purpose. And he was like, "Don't touch me." And I was like, "You right, you're right." He was like, "What if I walked over to you and plucked the buckshot?" And I was like, "You absolutely right. You absolutely right. I'm gonna stop touching." And then I realized, like, it's really an invasion of privacy. And I'm one of those type of people as well. Like, don't invade my personal space without permission type of thing. And it's something that I had to like look at within myself to be like, Rakia, you is tripping, grabbing on these people biz like that, grabbing on their facial hair.
What
If
made
they
you
smack you one day, you can't be upset.
what made you like, until the guy said something, like, what made you feel like that was cool though?
I have no idea. I honestly don't have an answer for that because I didn't like consciously think about what I was doing until he pointed it out to me. Like, and it wasn't even like he was like mean or anything about it, but it made me think, like, would I want somebody just coming up to me and touching my face or touching my nose ring or grabbing something, in my personal space without permission? And it's like, no, that's something that would make me feisty very quickly. So I'm like, if it's something that I don't like being done to me, then why would I keep doing it to other people? But I didn't notice that it was something that I was doing until he actually pointed it out to me.
I got you.
I personally think it's how we are programmed as kids. When you're a kid and you kind of like somebody, you pull their hair, you push them, it's always some kind of touch. And then as you get older, you realize it can't be nothing that hurts them. but you still want to touch them to let them know that you're interested. So I think that's kind of the mindset we have when we just go touch somebody. Like, we want to let you know that we're interested.
Why why don't you just why don't you just say that?
Because like I said, like when you're a little kid, you know, when you got a crush, you like pick on that person. But then as you get older, you kind of still don't know how to say it, but it evolves to just touching them instead of touching them in a way that's going to hurt them or pick on them rather. But I mean, as you get older, you realize, you know, let me just say that I'm interested in this person. But I think that's how it starts, because from kids, we just always, if somebody you like, you touch them in some kind of way.
I got you. How have y'all, and when I say y'all, I'm speaking to the ladies, like how have guys asked you for consent that you can remember?
They'll be like, I really want to fuck you, or I have had, can I kiss you? But it's not really, do you mind if I put my penis in your vagina? It's just, I really want to do this. And then I'll just be like, yes or no.
Is that really that's interesting, because like that's real interesting now that I think about it though, right? Because like what makes that asking for consent versus harassment? Because like, and I'll put it like this, like if I'm just walking down the street and I see an attractive woman, I'll be like, yo, I want to fuck you. How is that any different from?
Hold up, I didn't mean just random strangers. I meant somebody.
No, but it all no, but this is what I'm saying though.
Because if a random stranger was to say that shit, yeah, I would have no problem.
No, but I get that. I get that, but hear what I'm trying to say though. Like the point that I'm trying to make though is like that's really not asking. That's just me telling you what I want to do. But that's not really asking though. That's not really, I don't even really know if that's really asking for consent. That's just me like telling you a statement of how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, but me saying I want to do this, and him saying I want to fuck, or I want to fuck you, that gives me the chance to be like, nah, I'm good, or yeah, let's do it. It's still consent.
Okay.
But doesn't this come down to a matter of tact?
Yeah.
Right? Like having, like being an adult, how can I explain this? So, like with children are very like overtly rude. Like, I don't think they realize that they're being rude, but like if you're a child, you see a woman with a big belly, children oftentimes associate them to be pregnant. So they'll oftentimes say out loud, "Mommy, is she pregnant?" Out loud. Like not realizing that there's parameters around like how you should speak around people when you're speaking about them or to them, right? Or like as an adult, you learn tact. Like you learn how to speak to somebody. You learn how to communicate with people. So instead of like, it's tactless to say to a stranger, "I'm gonna fuck you." Like there's no tact in that. Like you have to understand and know how to talk to people. Like it's okay to express that, but like there's a certain way to do so. So it's not a bad thing to say what you want to do to somebody, but there is a proper way to say it.
That
I think context matters. I'm gonna give you an example of context, right? Because and it's so I'm torn with this subject, right? I'm torn because the last person I was dating, that y'all know by now. Yo, when she first met me, you gotta remember I was celibate for a year.
mm.
The reason, and even with me and her, we're supposed to be like start dating before that, but I told her straight up I'm celibate. And when I told her that, she like, listen, I like to express myself sexually, and she let it go. And then whatever. Long story short, I was doing my thing, and she hit me back on some like she's willing to be celibate with me. By that time, I was off of it, so we ended up having sex. But we had a weird little thing in between where we would hang out for like for mad long. We didn't even touch each other for like 2-3 weeks, to the point where I almost hit her up on something like, yo, I don't think we have a vibe together. We should just like, we should just like be friends. And then she was like, but I didn't. And then one day she started talking to me. She was like, yo, I ain't gonna lie, I want to kiss you, like whatever. And the reason why she never initiated is because she remember I said I want to be celibate. She didn't know the parameters. So her thing was like consent. It's a weird thing of like, I don't want to say anything that's gonna go against his beliefs or whatever the case is. So because of that, like, the whole she kind of like was tippy toeing around the idea of consent or whatever the case is. And I think that's how it is with men. Like, we want a lot of dudes, some dudes are blunt. They'll tell you straight up, yo, I'm trying to do this. Some dudes are not. Some guys are gonna like pussyfoot around it to make it seem like they're a nice guy, or they'll come in through like a friendship avenue when they really want to do other things. So I think context matters. I'll give you another example. This is a funny story I told Penelope. I went on a date on Saturday,
Oh, wow.
right? Went on the date on Saturday. I don't know why she wanted to sit on me. She wanted to sit on me, right? And usually when women sit on you, they sit on your lap. Like, she actually asked consent though, which was, she's like, yo, can I sit on you? I said, yeah, cool. Usually they'll sit on one leg. She decides to sit right in the middle of my crotch.
Mm.
I think she was trying to see my size, whatever. But
Oh my
but
god.
anyway,
That's fucking weird. Sorry.
you know what it was? You know
I was
why I
about
didn't
to
think
say
it was,
she a creep.
you know why I didn't think it was weird? Because the date was going so well and whatever. Like, it was within context, so I didn't think anything of it. All right. But
She had a fat butt.
yeah, she did. But
Because
but
that matters.
I mean it does. But I'm just, her
For the
back is
return
facing me,
masturbating, I
right?
hear the way you asked it. Did she have a fat butt?
Yeah, she didn't even say fat ass. That's funny. But her back was towards me, right? And yo, we already at it. Like, you already like right in the middle of my joint. You sitting on me, whatever. So that's where I hit consent. I'm like, yo, I want to kiss you. Could I kiss you? You know what I mean? Like, everything is within consent. Now, if she was just sitting on the bench, I'm like, yo, short, yo, ma, you look good. Could I kiss you? Like, it would be weird, but everything is within consent. It's not like,
But let
I
me
don't
let
think
me
it's wrong to ask consent. Like, I
let
don't
me
think
add let me add something real fast though, because I think I said this in the episode where we living in a time now where it don't matter. It doesn't matter your relationship with the person. You can't, like, just because you get consent one time don't mean that's a one-time thing and now you good to go. Like, because of the way that people change their minds, a girl could want to fuck me and suck my dick and let me bust on her face tonight. And then the next time I see her, she may not want to do none of that. And I gotta respect that.
Yeah, but she's gonna give you signs that she don't want to do that. You understand what I'm saying? It's not like I don't think it's difficult, but it's not. I don't think it's as difficult as we making
That's
it.
not always true because some women think, like, say, some women think, okay, we did it this one time. He was cool. I don't really want to do it this time, but since I did it last time, I have to do it this time.
Yeah,
And that's why they say consent for each time, because I might not really want to do it this time, but I really don't feel comfortable saying no either because I did it the last time.
see, that's a
And I
slippery
think that's
slope.
I think that's terrible. I think that you a
That's
grown ass woman, you should say, but some do, because it's like, damn, last time I was, freaking superhead in here. This time I just want to chill. I really want to do all that, but I did it the last time and he kind of giving me that vibe. I really don't know how he gonna act if I say no.
listen. Listen. Let me tell you something, man. She's gonna give you a sign that she not with it, bro. Like, I personally think she's gonna give you a sign that she's like, if we already has established enough where you giving me the guac 3000, like, you like, I'm not just gonna walk up to you, grab you by the head, like whatever. Like, I mean, next time I might if you want that, but Like, like she's gonna give you a sign of uncomfortable. Here's the trick though. You still have to verbally express to me that this is not what you want to do. Because I feel like, you know, I had this conversation like 3-4 years ago on the podcast. Like, I feel like, because I think my ex-wife was like, but what if she's scared and she doesn't want to say? That's still your responsibility to give me some sign that you don't want to do this. Especially if
But
we
you
had
know,
already.
sometimes dudes be ready to go. They don't pay attention to your timidness, or they don't think it's like that.
But then that's when
some
it's up to us
don't.
as the woman to say that. We can't, we do this thing these days. I'm sorry to cut both of y'all off. We do this thing these days as women. And somebody's gonna disagree with me on this, and yeah, it's fine. We do this thing these days as women where we expect niggas to just like telepathically know what we want from them. Like we might like blink twice, pop our tongue 3 times, snap our, you know what I'm saying, fingers a half a time and be like, nigga, I gave you a sign. It's like, what the fuck puzzle shit is this? Like, why are you throwing out riddles and like,
you right?
What is this? Like, just if we as women stood our ground as we think that we do in shit that don't matter, right? Like we always sitting our ground about some bullshit. But like when it really matters, like we bitch up and we like clam up, and it's like that's not cool for the other party, because from us, we're sending mixed signals. You let this man go so far. Yeah, you thinking in your mind, I don't really want him to touch me, but no, bitch, say what it is that you don't want. Like if you don't want this man to touch you, say that. Stop pussyfooting around until it's too late. Because the thing about it is, and I again could be wrong, when a man goes so far and then you say something, that's gonna create anger. Cause bitch, you knew what I was headed towards. You knew where I wanted to go, and you didn't stop me. Now you're upset, but it's like, why couldn't you just have said something in the beginning? Like, just let me know. Like, why can't we just be more direct in that space? So Vic sent me a video the other day. The video of that really, really aggressive girl talking to that guy. She was talking about
like
she was
she
like,
gonna slide his underwear to the side.
He said that shit to all of us. He said that shit to me too. I was saying,
bro, that shit was so what's wild is
the cops on that chick, bro. I'm calling the cops.
that what's wild is like if a woman approached guys like that, like would y'all like that?
No, bro. Like, yo.
Well, it's a caveat. It's a caveat to it though, Vic. I would say no, because it's not the norm. If it was the norm, then who knows? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
let me tell you something. I like women that are aggressive. All right. And
Shorty was angry. She was angry and horny.
No, yeah, by aggressive, I mean a woman that's assertive. That bitch was aggressive. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Like, she said she gonna pull his boxes to the side, bro.
And Buddy's strong as shit. His name is Myron. Myron is truly built like that. Like, nigga strong as hell.
Nah.
How you know that nigga?
Yeah, we had a moment. We're not gonna talk about that.
Telling me like I know him. I was like, hold up. How you know him?
Oh, you bagged him? Look at
Stop
you.
It. We're not talking about this. It's not about me. This is about the angry, aggressive bitch. Back up.
Fred get them niggas, man.
Oh my god. Y'all whack.
Y'all talk about my shoulders, boy. That nigga shoulders was killing more.
For real, bro.
Nigga, he's white as shit. Sir, literally, like, just turn around and walk to the door.
I said it, Frank, so I ain't gonna say. The New Yorker me almost came out. I was like, yo, Paul.
I can't stand y'all.
That's funny. Look at you getting niggas. I've seen you.
Hey, this ain't about me.
Yeah, all right, nigga, whatever.
But it's funny because when I had this discussion years ago, it was revolving. I don't know if y'all remember Aziz. Like there was a situation with Aziz. Yeah. She felt uncomfortable, but she gave him head. I'm like, bro, like there's no bigger mixed signal than that, bro. like
But wait, what if the head be horrible though? Like imagine a bitch being timid and scared and like uncomfortable and not wanting to give head. Wait, Jax, did this happen to you?
This happened to every guy.
Did it? Probably. I mean, I don't know.
I
Wait.
feel like you've had hair from somebody who like didn't want to give it to you, and
Oh
like,
my,
you
yeah,
felt-
Voldy.
yes,
All
and
of us
you
have.
you
When
can
you start
tell when a woman doesn't
like-
want to do that shit. She's just begrudgingly licking.
Bruh, I've had girls like, you ain't gonna come yet? Like, what's up? Like, I'm like, bruh, like, what are we doing here? You haven't even been there for that long. It's only been 5 minutes. What are you talking about right now?
Yeah, I've
Let me
definitely.
tell you something. Nothing's worse than getting head from someone that don't like giving. There's nothing worse than that.
That's a death sentence.
Like someone who's doing it just to do it, bro. Yeah, there's nothing worse than that, man.
But you know what's interesting though? Now that we kind of like talking about this is like, someone, I don't know if she's gonna hop into Zoom or not tonight, but she had commented on one of the, I forget if it was a clip or just like a post or something like that, but she had mentioned something, the term was like coercion rape, I guess. And that's kind of sort of like, I guess, what we're talking about, where, and actually when I was on the Sex with Strangers, seeing Juice was kind of talking about this low key, where they were talking about how sometimes they've been in situations where they didn't really feel like having sex, but I guess they got the vibe from the guy that they were kind of pressuring him without really pressuring him. So they went ahead and had sex with him anyway. And I guess I don't know if the girl made the term up of coercion rape or if that's an actual thing. But like, I feel like that's really, really tricky because, and I was hoping that she was gonna come on and kind of explain to me what she meant, because I'm on the side with what y'all saying is like, how do you feel as if you're being coerced into having sex that you don't want to have, but all the while you never say that? You know what I'm saying? But the guy feels like he has the green light because he's had sex with you before. But in your mind, you're like, well, I don't want to let him down, or I don't want to reject him. But at the same time, I'm really not in the mood. I really don't feel like it. I really don't want to do it, but I'm gonna just do it anyway. So it's no weird space in between. It's like, how is that the man's fault? I don't understand how that would be. I just can't understand how that would be the man's fault. Like,
Are you only looking for an answer from a situation where they've already had sex, or are you open to an answer from a situation where they haven't had sex?
I mean, you can give both. I think it's way more murky when you've already had sex with a guy, but you could, I mean, yeah, either one.
So for me, because it has happened to me before, but not in the way where like I gave in and I didn't want to per se, but like there's a certain authoritative energy that comes off sometimes in a sexual space. It happened to me because I felt like, because we had sex before, he expected it from me again. And that wasn't a good feeling. It's like, just because we've had sex before doesn't mean that I want to have sex with you every time I see you. And so it started making me feel like I had to have sex with him. So it's like every time we were in each other.
Can you explain the feeling though? Because like
it was pressure. It was like, initially I wanted to, so we did. But then like every time we got around each other, it was almost like that was an expectation. And that wasn't always my expectation. It wasn't like
what was he doing or saying that made you feel like it was an expectation?
It was like we'd be in a space together, like he would touch me almost as though, and kind of gesture. I'm having a hard time explaining this. So I'm having a really hard time explaining this. So, okay. So let's just say we were sitting on the couch watching a movie, right? And like we've had sex before, right? Sitting on the couch watching a movie. He would approach me, like kiss me or like rub on me in the same manner he did when we started having sex before. Okay. So it's like, this worked before, I'm gonna do the same thing because that was the outcome the last time I did this.
versus us just sitting here chilling, I may not have wanted to have sex right now or this time period. And so the more repetitive that happened, the less and less I wanted to have sex, because it was like, now this is an expectation of yours, and that's not my same feeling. That's not my same idea every time we kick it.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah. But my other questions would be like, did you say that? Did you express that? Or was it something that you just felt and then you just kept it to yourself? And on top of that, did you actually ever succumb to just, you know what? All right, fuck it. I'm gonna just fuck this nigga and get it over with and just keep it moving? Or did you actually stand on your shit and was like, nah, like I don't feel like it?
So it was like a slight downhill decline, right? So like at first, it's like, yes, let's have sex. This is great, right? And then like every time he came in my presence, my excitement lessened, because again, it started to feel like a chore, because it started to feel like an expectation of like from him onto me. And so after a while, I'm like, nah, like I ain't feeling that right now. He'd be like, all right. But then like in the same kick it session, he would try it again. And it's like, nah, like I ain't feeling that. So then like the next time we link, he tried again. And it's just like, it wasn't rapey, because like he backed off when I said something, but it just felt like it had become an expectation on me. And like that wasn't a good feeling.
Well, what's the go ahead.
Have you ever been in a situation where you're not in the mood and he made you get in the mood? Not this particular person, but in general.
By make me get in the mood, or you mean like do something like foreplay to like take me there?
Yeah, like all right, I'll give you an example. I've said this several times before. I've been in situations where the person's like, fine, I'm gonna come to your crib, but don't think I'm gonna do anything.
Why your voice just get real low and like,
or when I'm laying down, maybe. I guess.
I feel like something is happening. I'm not really sure. We're on one accord. I just wanted to.
I'm laying down, so that's probably what it is.
He put his fucking G voice on, nigga.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep up. I'm lost. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
He about to slide through on one of y'all after the Zoom over, nigga.
Yo,
that's hilarious.
That nigga said,
like I've been in situations where it's like,
you feel me?
I'm glad I wasn't the only one that caught that, because I'm like, wait, what is happening right now?
Yo, I'm laying down. I don't know.
Fight back.
Yeah.
But I could think
don't
of
let them do you
where,
like that. Fight back.
Nah, I mean, it is what it is.
Go ahead.
If I get on, I might have to keep my voice. Who knows?
I'm a little.
Nah, but I've been in situations where like, okay, or like I'm asking because I'm sure there have been times where you probably weren't in the mood and someone, I guess, coerced you in the sense of they made you in the mood. I guess that's the question I'm asking. Has that ever happened to you? Like where initially you knew, yeah, nah, I'm not into this, but I don't know, through foreplay or whatever the case is, you became in the mood.
Coercion is hard for me, because coercion means force, right? And force makes me feel like my back is against the wall, like I didn't have a choice.
Can I disagree? Right? I don't know if that's what it means. I don't know if it's more so force. I think it's more so like it's more like finesse. It's almost like once you do something, like you figure out after the fact, like, oh shit, that's what they kind of made me do. But you don't feel like you're being forced though.
Right, which is why I'm saying I can't use the word coerce, because coerce actually means to persuade somebody to do something by force or threats. That's actually what coercion means. So the
Okay.
word is throwing me because no, I've never had anybody coerce me into having sex.
But
Right.
okay,
But
let's take the word coercion out. Have you ever, because you know that, yeah, have you ever been finessed? I
I
like
have allowed if there's somebody I'm interested in, but like I'm not there yet. I have allowed them to get me where I need to be, sure.
okay.
But have I been in a situation where I absolutely did not want to have sex and I allowed them to still get me in the mood? No. If I don't want to have sex with you, I don't want to have sex with you. It's really just that.
I think the difference, and maybe this will make a little more. I think the difference is like, it's not that you don't want to have sex with this person, is that you're not in the mood to have sex right now. Like, I think that's kind of more so what Vic is saying. Like, not somebody that you don't want to fuck, but when you have already fucked somebody once, like, I feel like that at that point it's established that, okay, like, she's attracted to me, she likes me enough to where sex is on the table. But then we've all been in situations where you've already had sex with a person and then you want to have sex with them, but maybe they're not in the mood to have sex. Not because you're you, but just because they're not in the mood right now to have sex in general. And then it's like, okay, well, I know that I can have sex with this person. They're not in the mood to have sex, but let me try to, play with a couple of her spots or do this or touch her here or rub her there,
Yeah, that's what I'm.
kiss her
Yeah,
there, so I can get her in the mood so that we can have sex. I think that's more so like what he was trying to say. Not somebody that you would just like, nah, I'm not fucking that person.
And yes, my answer has not changed. I have allowed someone to do that. Yes. I've allowed somebody to get me in the mood. Yes, I have. And like, that's fine. Like that's fine. It's fine. But I have to allow it. Like the door needs to be open for that to happen. Also, I want to just take a quick side street real quick. Just because you've had sex with a woman doesn't mean that this is about to sound real shitty. And I'm okay with that. Just because you've had sex with a woman does not mean that she really wanted you. Right? Like I've been sexual with men and it was just the right time, right place, right situation, and it kind of just happened. Okay. Now, would I ever do that again with them? No. Didn't really even want them then, but they were there. It was convenient. Okay. So don't assume that just because you've had sex with a woman once that she does like you or that she does want you around, because that's not always the case. Is it likely? Sure.
That's fair. But I think maybe if they like, you have to say that though. Like if they're trying to attempt to have a round two or a second time or another time or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? I think that might be where a lot of this
confusion,
the coercion or the whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like I felt pressured to have sex. It may be where that is coming from, because if you are having sex with people that you didn't really want to, but they were just at the right place at the right time, so you ended up having sex with them. You know what I'm saying? In their mind, like if you haven't communicated those specific things to that person, it's fair for that person to assume that, hey, I'm having sex with this person because they wanted to have sex with me. Like I think that that's a fair assumption to have. So when they go back and try to have it with you once again, you can't. I feel like it's unfair for somebody to be like, yeah, I felt pressured, you know what I'm saying, because we had sex the one time on the whim, and then they came over on the other time and they thought we was just gonna have sex again, but you're leaving out, not you specifically, but I'm saying like you're leaving out the part where you didn't express that to them.
I agree wholeheartedly. But I said that earlier. I said it comes down to us as women being vocal, saying the words, right? Like, say what you don't want. I'm just saying that as a man, don't assume. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that a woman should not state that. I'm just saying that as a man, because I'm piggybacking off of your words, which were, you mentioned that if we've had sex before, like you might assume that, it's cool for it to happen again. And I'm just saying to you as a woman, don't assume that. But as a woman, I do need to verbalize that no, this is not what I want, even though it did happen before. I'm not in that space anymore, or whatever. So
Right.
both, nothing that you're saying is wrong, but both things, again, I agree with. The women need to speak up. We need to actually say what we don't want, but the men should not assume. Never assume.
I got you. Is there a specific way, and this is to any of the ladies, right? Is there a specific way that you would prefer to be asked for consent? Or do you just want it to be asked just generally? Or do you need to, because I feel like you gotta ask it with some smoothness, with some coolness, in order for the woman to approve. Like even if she wants to have sex with you, right? Even if she's the girl who comes over to the crib, y'all go to the bedroom, she's cool with, you know what I'm saying, watching a movie, laying in your bed. She's the girl who's like in the bed. But if I'm the guy who is thinking like, well, just because it's a girl in my crib, in my room, in my bed, that doesn't necessarily mean that she wants to have sex, right? So like in that scenario, there are still things I feel like that could, if I ask for consent in the wrong way, it can still fuck up the whole night, even though you're in my house, in my room, in my bed. So my question is like, is there a specific way that y'all would prefer to have consent presented to you? Hey, y'all niggas.
Sorry, what was the actual question?
Yeah, I was about to say, what was the question?
I'm
Way
asking.
is there a specific way you would like to be asked for consent?
Yes.
Is this with somebody that I've already had sex with, or someone
It
new,
don't matter.
or a stranger?
You tell me. Not a stranger if you were in the nigga house.
Well, see, I'm different, because if it's somebody I'm already sexually active with, we've had sex quite a few times.
I'm talking about
I'm not. Oh, first time.
if y'all haven't had sex yet, but that don't mean just because you ain't had sex with somebody don't mean y'all strangers. Like y'all have to have some type of rapport to be in this, to either for him to be
So
in
you
your
mean
house,
on the first time?
right? Just the first time, right? Let me give you an example while you're thinking, while you're pondering. So ever so slightly.
Say yeah. I would.
Only.
I was trying to
Go
give
ahead.
the other people a chance to answer just to hear how they.
Go ahead.
But
Go ahead, blood.
what's up, Bloods? It's been presented before. Stop it. Because you look sick.
Jackson, I fucking hate you.
Yeah, right? It's annoying. I like that sweater though.
Appreciate it.
I've had it presented where I've dated men in the industry and they literally have something that you have to sign. And I've had somebody like, yo, if we're gonna get down, you have to sign this, and I want to film part of it, and you can blah blah blah. But I think it just needs to be natural. Just don't have it be weird. It's so hard. That's such a simple question, but it's hard to answer it. Um, I would prefer that he's just very natural and honest. Like, hey, you over here, we're not going out, I'm attracted to you, like, what's up? That's just me.
That's super vague. That's super vague.
It is vague, but it can be awkward. Like we at dinner.
My point. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
If we're at dinner and like we ain't never had sex before and like we finishing up, like he's getting ready to pay the bill and he looks at me and says, "So tonight, like, can we have sex?" It's like, bro, wait, what? Like I get that is as direct as he can be. That would allow me to answer as directly as I would like to. But at the same time, that makes things very, very, because even if I was attracted to you at one point in time, when you ask me a question in that manner, I'm not looking at you as being lame or gay or anything like that. You've just made the energy very strange and tight, right? So like back to what she was saying, it needs to be like a very natural thing. Like it needs to just, first of all, you read the room, right? Like we talked about this, and a lot of men are not great at this. Like reading the room is not a skill that a lot of men possess.
They're fucking terrible.
I gotta, can I, because, and I feel like, Mary, you would appreciate this, right? Because like the whole, everything, Freck, that you have said thus far, because I don't know what you're about to say, but it's kind of like on, it's aligning with like giving women all of the power when it comes down to sex, right? Because we're talking about reading a room, we're talking about making natural, we're talking about making normal. Yeah, but according to who? You know what I'm saying? Because like if I'm naturally and normally a very direct communicative person, and I say what I mean and I mean what I say, and I say what's on my mind and I say what I'm feeling, me saying like, yo, like, would you mind if we have sex tonight? Like, what if that's normal and natural for me?
And
But,
that's
it's, but if
exactly
it, but if it's
that's
but if,
exactly.
but if it's not
But
normal, if it's not normal and natural for you and how you communicate, now we're not being natural and we're not being normal, and now it's being awkward. But for who? Only for you, not for me.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I have to rebuttal on that. I have to rebuttal. Reason I have to rebuttal.
Yes, come on, rebut. Sorry.
Yeah, rebuttal, whatever. I gotta the reason I have to challenge that is, you know, just because you're blunt and straight up like that, and that's understandable, it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Hey, yes.
Like it's you have to read the room with these situations. Like I've said a lot of these things, I've asked consent. I've asked consent. I'm like, yo, could I kiss you? Could I do this? Like even the situation when me and homie got into it or whatever the case is, that one, before we left that pool hall, I looked at her. I'm like, yo, let's get out of here. You want to come to the crib? She looked at me. She's like, yeah. I kissed her. Went to go pay for the thing. I knew what that meant. She knew what that meant. And even if it wasn't what we both thought it meant, when we get to the crib, she wouldn't like it's I get as men we blunt. At the end of the day, you know, I hate I've always heard this. Women control access to sex, men control access to relationship. If you know she's controlling the access, whether you want to accept it or not, she has full access. And if you want to get what you want from her, there's a particular way you have to get it from her.
But all I'm saying is, though, like this room, what I'm saying is the room that y'all talking about reading, you guys are presenting it as if it's not my room, it's hers. And if that's what it is, then that's cool, then that's what it is. But I just want to let it be known that that's what y'all are implying. Because why am I the only one who needs to read the room in the scenario? Is what my
you're the one initiating it, then you need to read the room.
She control access to it. So you have to look. It's like anything. If I want to get to Philly, I gotta learn how to drive, right? Like I gotta learn. It's the same thing.
Take the train.
It's same thing with women. If you could take the train, whatever. But what I'm saying is like you have to figure out how to get to Philly, right?
Okay.
That you could either if the only way I could get to Philly is by driving, I have to learn how to drive. It's the same shit with women. You have to learn how to talk to women. It's simple, bro. Like,
but
and I understand the factor of each woman is different, but yes, there's exceptions to the rule. Not every.
Bro,
I'm gonna give you that.
But wait,
every woman is different. Go ahead.
Every woman is different. There's always an exception to the rule, but for the most part, I'm giving you the example I've seen. Like the only reason I remember I made that episode like 4 years ago was because what worked with one woman didn't work with the other. You understand what I'm saying? So I understand where you're coming from, but at the same time, it's like
this is my one point though, right? If I'm staying on the because niggas love to go off vibes, right? Vibes and natural and cool and normal and all of this, right? but we still going off of what's natural and what's making the woman feel most comfortable. Because honestly, what if it's awkward for me and abnormal for me and unnatural for me to try to fucking finesse my way into some pussy? What if that's awkward for me?
Then don't do it.
Then you don't get no
Correct.
pussy.
But what I'm saying is, if that's awkward for me, but that's what
Do what's
women.
natural for you.
What I'm.
Maybe I misspoke in that. I'm saying it should be natural and through communication, whether I just meet a nigga at the bar or we've been talking on the phone or I meet him online, which most of the guys they have been online. It's up to me to open that line of communication. I have accepted a long time ago. You don't know shit about me, but how fat that ass is, how wide those hips are, and how juicy them hips are. That shit is who wear glasses is true. It is up to me to then show you that behind these fake titties is a heart. Up under this weave is a mind. You know what I'm saying? And all of that other
First
shit.
of all, you better talk, okay? You better fucking talk.
You know what I'm saying? And yes, you can see the ass from the front, but you also have to hold up, swell up. We gonna get
Okay,
there.
blood.
Hold up, swole up.
She's fucking nuts, man.
But it's up to me to do that. So once, as a woman, I had to accept. And you know who told me that? My father. My father told me that shit a long ass time ago. And then niggas reinforced it. And I'm like, dang, daddy, you really true. He's like, I'm 30 years older than you. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. But if that's awkward for you, then you don't do it. I think that Black men have to stop tiptoeing around us. Stop assuming we don't suck dick. Stop assuming we don't want the face splash. Stop assuming things and just have a fucking conversation.
Nah, yeah. We live in a day and we live in a day and era that everything a man do is toxic masculinity. That's the reason we walking on eggshell. I'm gonna keep
Who is
like
pushing that narrative? Because not everybody is like that, and I agree.
not everyone is, but when a man is overly assertive, the way Jackson is saying, it's like it's kind of like you cut the legs under. It's like there's a reason why I asked for consent. Now I didn't used to ask for consent, and I'm not saying it's wrong or right.
I can blame
saying,
Trav. Trav is creepy ass Trav. You know,
Trav is tricky Trav though. I mean,
Trav is creepy.
And tricking, being too quick to trick is creepy sometimes. Like, it's creepy because you giving me herpy vibes. You giving me you giving me herpy vibes. What the you giving me community dick vibes, and I don't like that. Nigga, slow down. I'm gonna accept a free drink, but I see you for everybody, and that's creepy.
I think
did Ron want to say something though? Weren't you like
that pink hair?
She was doing all of this.
Oh, I ain't even see. I ain't see her. You was trying to chime in real quick. She act like she can't.
Her video is moving. She might be stuck.
Maybe. You are a kid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think she.
Me?
Yeah,
yeah, they was talking about you.
She said that like yo, what's going on? Like
I was lost for a minute. I don't know. I think it's situational. You gotta know who you're dealing with when it comes to this type of thing. If you can't, when it comes to consent and asking, if I pull up to a dude house and I'm in his bed, I already know if we bumping bellies or not. And I'm one of those people, I'll tell him like, nah, because you might try to, if I don't tell him, let's say it's one of those nights where I don't communicate that, and in the middle of the night, he go reaching for my honey spot and he touch a pad. He gonna be sick. Like, so I'd rather say like, honey spot ain't open tonight. Like, I'll let him know that way he won't feel uncomfortable. I won't feel uncomfortable. Then I'll know how much I can put my butt on him when we sleeping, just for those purposes. But I think it's situational. Like, not men don't only have to read the room, but women have to read it as well. Like, yes, that is what I was getting ready to say. It's all about, because Jax, you were making this point, like, it seems that we are just saying that the man has to read the room. To me, it's whoever is the aggressor. If as a man, if you're trying to approach a woman for sex or anything for that matter, you need to read the room. If I am a woman, Jax, if I'm a woman walking up to you and I want to fuck you, I need to first read your energy. I need to look at you and figure out, looking at this man, does he look like he wants to be approached? Looking at this man, does he even give signals is his body loose enough for me to assume that he wants me to walk up to him at all? Right? Like both parties need to read the room. But I wanted to ask a question to everybody actually, because you said earlier, somebody said earlier that you need to it depends on the person, right? Like that aggressive shit might work for one person, but then for the next person that might be too much and that might turn them off. Like you might have been cool at first, but then like sexually, like aggressively approaching them sexually might be a turn off, right? But you don't know that. It depends on the person. But could this have a lot to do with the fact that we don't get to know people before we even try to have sex with them first? We don't get to know personalities. We don't get to know what do they like, what don't they like. We don't get to know that shit. Today is I want to meet you, I want to fuck you. Like, and we have sex the society that we live in, right? Like we're no longer taking the time to figure out, Vic, is Vic more closed off? Does he want, does he prefer me to approach him a little more gentle? Or does he prefer me to grab his balls, reach under his dick and grab his balls? Like, is that what he prefers? Like, I would never know, because I haven't gotten to know Vic. I'm just doing things the way I want to do them, but I don't know the nigga because I have not given it the time that it's due.
Let me rebut, right?
Yes, rebut.
From a male perspective, like everything you said, I don't even disagree with at all. But from a male perspective, everything that you just said, like playing the long game, so to speak, or playing it safe in order to get to know the person, so you know how to handle them when the sexual scenario is actually on the table. With some women, the way that is perceived is as this nigga is a bitch. This nigga is not aggressive enough for me. So if he's not aggressive enough for me just in daily interaction, there's no way that the dick gonna be good, because that's not part of his personality. It's women out there like that.
I agree. I
like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I know those women, and I know gang banging ass bitches, but we still.
Oh, her and these gays, I can't fucking handle it.
Yeah, blood.
But
10 years ago.
Yeah, blood. Yeah, well.
I think that's these younger girls are, and I sound old as fuck, sorry y'all, but they just are super, and my baby sister is like that, like super aggressive and hard, but there are a lot of men who respond to that and they want that. I go through that like off and on with my dude. Like sometimes he's used to them bitches born after 1984, and I'm like, yo, hold up, like,
what's wrong with 84?
I feel attacked.
We old too now, nigga. What you mean?
Okay, let's say not 86. Let's say after 86.
Yo,
you better? Yeah. But my thing is,
because I'm born in the 90s. Hold on.
You born in the 90s?
I'm 30. First of all, bring your voice down, because I was born in 1990. So relax.
Oh, y'all
niggas
left. Right, like I'm 30.
I remember when I was born in 1990.
Hold on.
Right.
The City Girl group. The City Girl group. Y'all not the City Girl.
don't that because I ain't that.
Okay, that's what I'm really getting at. The City Girl group. That after 96. Let's say people born after 96. Them little fucking bitches are very toxic. Very that and just really rough. And I think it's a time and place for that, but not all men want that. Not all men, they want a woman who can hold their own. And if a bitch come at you, like, I'm gonna take my earrings off and break a nail for you, but they don't want that all the time. But it does come back to just being yourself and reading the fucking room, reading there. Take the time. If that's what you do on site, then cool. I went out Friday night. This big old white boy was like, he just stepped to me. And I was like, hey, I appreciate the confidence, bro. You know what I'm saying? But he was like,
turning them down right after.
He turned down.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he ain't gang, so shit.
But he was watching me and my girl for like an hour, like just over there looking at how we drink and this and that. But I was even telling her, and my friend is only 26, and I was like, you see those guys over there? They are really like kind of just seeing who they could vibe with, who's having fun, who could they approach, because there was another group of females at like next to us. We were totally different, but they approached us, and I think it was because they saw like cool energetic vibes, but they didn't come at us crazy. You know what I'm saying? Just read the room. You do you. It doesn't matter how she is. And if someone comes at you and says you're gay or that's weak or that's what the fuck, of course you ain't gotta ask me to fuck me, just fuck me. Then you be
That's
fucked.
right.
I know it may seem like it's easier said than done. Like I can't just walk up to a man and be like, "Look, I want to get married in 18 months. You got to kiss me, fuck me, and blah blah blah. You got to have them 9 inches." I can't just walk up to somebody and say all that. You know what I'm saying? And then I can't assume after we do start communicating that because if he comes with that, I'm gonna say, "Yeah, I am very interested in having sex. What's them inches hanging like?" You know?
I'm
Then
gonna
that makes
you stupid. You stupid. I want to ask you this, not you specifically, but I just want to ask you guys collectively this: like, can we all agree that there is a part of women that do want to be taken, right? Without having without having to express what it is they want. They just want a man to do it without them having to ask, without them having to teach, without them having to guide, without them having to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that there's a large part of women, a large population of women who that's kind of like an ideal situation for them. So that innately puts men in a tough space because you do have to. That's the room that you have to read, whether this is the first time or the 100th time that you've had sex with this girl. And
Yo, look at
the hard part about, I'm sorry, now that the hard part about that is you could be right with your timing and with your mind reading 99 times, but you only really get seriously penalized for the one time that you're wrong. The one time that you're trying to be aggressive, you're trying to be assertive, you're trying to, you know what I'm saying, you're trying to take her and overpower her and like, but in a, you know, in a sensual, sexy way. But that one time that's not what she on, that fuck everything up from that point forward. So that's what I feel like niggas like me are trying to avoid. Like, I'd rather just play that shit safe. And you know what I'm saying? Like, let's talk about it. Let's speak on it. Whatever. Like, fuck this mind reading shit, because I don't ever want to be the guy who's gonna overstep that boundary. Because once you overstep a sexual boundary, it's not really too much coming back from that. And my bad, Fresh. What was you about to say?
nah, Jack. No. You good. You good, man. Because I've been in here, you know what I'm saying, listening to you guys, man. And I'm hearing a lot of different scenarios. I'm hearing a lot of different things going on. But the thing that I think keeps on ringing in my head is misplaced expectations. And in the sense of, you know, because you laid out a lot tonight. I ain't gonna lie, you laid out a lot. So it's like, it's kind of like this. It's like how you was talking about, is it a such thing that basically, are we living in a situation where women, you know, they run the room, they run the, you know what I'm saying, they run the platform as far as just how things are going to go in the whole nine. And I'm just like you know what I'm saying? I stay low key, I play my part, you know what I'm saying, and I just try to stay as safe as possible. Like, even from the time that I was a kid, before I even had sex for the first time, I already knew in my head that I was going to be the guy that was never going to pressure a woman or wanted her to feel pressure. You know what I'm saying? So I already knew as a kid, this is going to be me. I'm going to rock with this. And what I've seen happen a lot of times is, you know what I'm saying? It's like, because I'm that guy, I'm also the guy that get to hear all the fucking horror stories too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, with me being in that role, I've been granted the opportunity to learn a lot. And so people like me and yourself, we're having this discussion and you're going back and forth with a lot of stuff, is because we're having to pay for the niggas of pussy pass. Like, we're having to, all of the niggas that have fucked up pussy previously, we're having to pay for that shit.
Yeah, that's funny.
You know what I'm saying? For all of their fuck ups, right? So it's like, it's a situation where you got to understand that, you know what I'm saying, a woman already knows if she wants to fuck you in the first 5 minutes of meeting you anyway. It's your job not to fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes down to a lot of things, other things that you're talking about, as far as, maybe she wants somebody more aggressive. Maybe she wants, these certain things. That's a skill that has to be learned, not expected. You know what I'm saying? Like, a woman is going to let you know what she likes. It's just up to you to build that up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you doing what you're doing and how you playing it isn't wrong, because honestly, myself, I've gotten a lot of pussy by just being cool, staying low key, and not making the woman feel pressured to have sex.
Right.
So I've been told on numerous occasions, like, yo, I was really horny. I was really ready to have sex with you. I knew that we would have a good sexual chemistry, because you're one of the only guys that never put that pressure on me, and that made me more attracted to you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I see what you're saying, and it's a lot of levels to it, but for the assholes that just want to be like, oh, he gay, or oh, he this, oh, he that, it's like, they just not for you, and everybody not for everybody.
That's true. That's definitely true.
There's something he said that I agree with. You got to do it enough times where you can able to read different scenarios. And I kind of feel like if you just back off and don't do anything and try to play it safe, you're not gonna know that. Like, I think the reason why I'm able to do certain things, I've learned very early on, is not what you say to women, is how you say them to women. Like, but there's certain topics that I'm able to talk to women that if a random dude just bring it up, you're gonna get shut down. I think if you, I think you have to do it enough where you're able to read the room. It's like practice. Like, if you just fall back and don't do anything, you're gonna miss out. You really have to do it, because I, like, even on Saturday I told you what happened. Like, so I asked her if I could kiss her, whatever, kissed her, whatever. Then I walked her to her car, kissed her again. I'm reading all of that, all of those information, and then when I'm about to walk away, and she, I don't know what she said, and I walked back to her. I pulled her mask off and kissed her again. Like, you know what I mean?
Nigga got the COVID,
You know what I mean? Like, you know
nigga.
what I mean?
Boy,
I pulled the
You out
mask
here
off.
COVID kissing?
COVID
that nigga
Bruh.
temperature high right now.
No, but one funny thing that happened is she sat down, right, and we saw a kissing, and I walked away. She's like, I feel like you want to do, like, you want to be more. No, what did she say? She said, I feel like you want to do more than kiss, and I was like, yeah.
It's like you're ready.
You know what I mean? I was like, yeah. I walked away, and for a split second, I walked away, and then on my drive home, I was like, yo, was I being too aggressive? Like, I actually had that split second,
She probably
like,
felt
thought to my
right.
mind. And then later on, while she driving, she's like, yo, I ain't gonna front. I like that. Like, I feel like you have to do it enough where you can read it. Because if she gave me the slightest little whatever, I would have been able to read, like, all right, yo, chill, fall back. It's like, I feel like you really do have to do it enough. You know, not enough. I ain't saying violate nobody, but if you talk to enough women, you could kind of tell, bro. You could kind of, but then again, that comes with the, I could read something that's not there also. Yeah.
Yeah, and yo, Vic, you made a great point too, yo, as far as just how you explain that thin line between, you know what I'm saying, being subtle and being aggressive. Because when you said what you said, I realized I kind of misplaced. So me, when I say staying low, you know what I'm saying, and kind of reading the room and kind of being a bit more patient than obviously other men, that doesn't mean that I'm not doing nothing, right?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
it's like in your situation, like you're talking about, y'all was at the pool house shooting pool. Is that what y'all had going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like, something happened after the pool hall, but even before, I was like, yo, let's get out of here. And it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, yo, you should come to my spot. I just threw it out there, and
Yeah.
she was just like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
That would
but
remind me.
it's not like, yo, come here, we going to my crib.
No,
You know what I
no.
mean?
I feel you. No, I feel you 100%. And I
It's
was
how you
asking
say
that.
things.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the reason I asked that, because you know what I'm saying. In that position, if we're at the pool hall, it's like it's little subtle things I know that I can say it's obviously now we're in a position where it's like we're playing pool, so it's competition based now. So it might be a certain way that I might touch the small of her back and say a little something where it's not threatening, but it's also like, oh, he really kind of paying attention to fucking with me. It's little nuances you can do, but that's not threatening. But you can let her know, like, no, I'm really rocking with you. You know what I'm saying? And you can just kind of build off of that. You know what I'm saying? Because one of the things I found out when I was younger, brother, like foreplay is an all day thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you could have been texting her little shit all during that day before y'all met up. That could have already put her in the zone without feeling threatened. You know what I'm saying? Like you could have already kind of put little questions or little something's out there to where you could just kind of read it between the lines. Like, okay, I'm fucking with shorty. I kind of see, you know, you're gonna have a good time tonight, and you just build off of it. You know, I just think a lot of times niggas is just trying to go from 0 to 100 so fast that they don't allow the build up, so they don't give themselves the opportunity to actually read.
Facts, yo. Niggas will go. Niggas would be like, yo, she just met the dude. So you coming to the crib or not? Like, yo, like
yeah, exactly. You're like, yo, chill out, man.
Like niggas be trying to skip steps and join.
Exactly, bro.
You
we gotta pay for that shit.
Yeah, you gotta realize. I think the pool thing got he onto something there because Friday night when that dude like stepped to me and my girl, everybody was playing pool too. So I guess it's the different ways. The other group of women they wasn't playing pool. So it's just like you reaching over. He might pick up on those signals, but just because I'm back, bending my ass over, don't mean that I want to fuck. Right. It might. So it just comes down to shoot your fucking shot. And if she got a bulletproof vest on, then move the fuck on. Some people be too pressed. They be too pressed on it. And it's like, okay, if that's what you're attracting, but water seeks its own level. If I pour this wine on this side of the computer and that side of the computer, it may take a year, it may take a minute. Eventually, those two, they're going to level out. So water seeks its own level. If those are the type of bitches that you fucking attracting, then guess what? You need to fucking start looking outside of the box. I had to, as I've gotten older, I had to rewrite my list, if I'm being completely honest. And before, up until like 2-3 years ago, I would not date nobody with kids. I still don't. And now I still have my limitations. If he has children, he can't be a fucking baby daddy. He better have custody of one of his kids. And I don't date people with teenage daughters. And the reason why is because of how I get attached to girls. And for a man to have custody of his teenage daughter, in my opinion, is something real fucked up with her mama. And I'm gonna be like too attached. And if our shit don't work out, I end up getting hurt. So it's just like you have to really know yourself, put it out there. And if they ain't picking up what I'm putting down, I don't give a fuck. Move the fuck on. It's plenty of people, it's thousands of people out here. I ain't tripping on not one nigga. Some of them swing out, but
not one on blood.
Not one. Blood. That's right.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give y'all an example, right? Right? Because I used to online date. I still do online date a lot, right? One thing I learned early on that made me different. Women are slick, bro. Let me tell you what
we are.
Oh, right? Absolutely. They're slick.
One thing I never did when I was doing that, I never brought up sex first. Never. Like we would talk about everything but sex, right? And they usually bring it up. Let me tell you what happened. They will bring it up, and I'm gonna tell you how men hang themselves. Women will bring up sex, and once they bring up sex, the dude jumped from 0 to 100. He like, yeah, y'all be like y'all. I'm gonna break your back. I'm like, all she asks, bruh, is like she may have asked the simplest thing, like, do you like to kiss during sex? Homie's already talking about like, yeah, I like to push the head down. I like to make a choke. You know, what I learned, and this is what you said, is Avian. How you say your name?
Avian.
One thing I learned.
Yeah, Avian. Oh, good guy.
Always play it cool. Even when they bring that subject up, play it cool. Don't be overly eager, bruh. Some dudes be like, yeah, like now she brought it up, I'm on it. And that's usually when she'll get turned off, bro. Like you have to play it cool. You gotta play it like you've been here before. Some dudes like act like, yo, you know what I mean? And that's usually where most guys hang themselves in this situation. Like I make sure never to bring up that subject like that. And once you bring it up, I usually the joke I used to say is I like to dip my toe in the water and check the temperature, bro. Like I'm not just gonna be like overly throwing it out there like that. I like to see where your mind is at. Like I want to see what you do, and that's usually where guys get screwed up. That once you bring up sex, they'll jump out. They'll jump out the window, man. Like they'll really jump out the window.
Every time, bro.
I had a question again for the ladies on here. How do y'all ask for consent?
They do that?
Shit got deep.
I was about to ask the same thing. We do that.
You just ask. Just ask.
Take my pants off.
Put on you like.
Well,
I don't think I've ever.
I might ask, can I sit on you? I
Either
might
you gonna
ask.
grab it or you gonna push me away. One of the two.
It's very easy.
But y'all joke, y'all got a lot of jokes though. Like, and that's cool. Jokes is cool. That's funny. But like, I'm being serious. How do y'all?
So am I.
No, they being serious too, nigga.
I'm being serious.
So you said you just.
LOLs, nigga.
So wait, y'all.
Jackson,
Y'all gotta say that at once.
you've been present when I've asked for consent for somebody's face once in a blue moon where I said, give me your face.
I
And
like
he was
her.
like, yes, I will.
Yo, I'm gonna tell you how.
see,
I'm gonna tell you how Shorty. Shorty asked me like that. I was 18, right? So, so what it is after high school, right? I ended up going to Job Corps. To get a trade or whatnot, right? My first day, fresh off the plane, I go into our little mentor, little meetup, you know what I'm saying, greeting all of the new students and whatnot. So it's this girl from the other side of the GA, she's there. I've only been on this campus, bro, for an hour. Understand? Shorty walked up to me, and looked at me dead in my eye and said, I'm gonna fuck you this weekend. And I kind of looked back like,
Yes, you are.
yeah, you are. You are gonna fuck me this weekend. Yes, you are. It was like the consent was so.
I like her. What's
It
her
wasn't
name?
no hey, no bye. Yo, we still cool to this day. It wasn't no hey, how
I
you
bet you
doing? No,
are.
she just looked
That
at me
shit
and just
wasn't
nodded her
consent,
head.
bro. She did
She
the
just
captain
nodded her
shit.
head like, yo, I'm gonna fuck you this weekend.
That was
And
a
my
consent,
consent,
bro.
and my consent, no, my consent was, yeah, we all fucking this weekend, aren't we? We go.
She did the Tom Hanks thing, bro. Like, look at me. We fucking.
No,
Like,
that shit was the wildest shit ever, but it was worth it. I ain't gonna hold you.
Now, when I asked the consent question though, right? Like a lot of y'all gave wild answers or whatever. I heard take your pants off. I heard like I want to grab your face. I'm gonna fuck you this weekend or whatever. Like, and that may have all been funny and also true at the same time as to how you ask for consent. But why is that okay? But it's not okay if a man were to say that to you. Like, where does that stem from? Why do y'all believe?
Because y'all accept that. Y'all
You guys
accept that. Y'all allow that.
You
We
allow-
won't allow y'all to do that to us. Y'all allow it.
Oh, no,
That's it.
But that again goes
Smoke
back
pipe,
to,
though.
and that again though goes back to my point of what kind of person are you when you know that you don't want something to be presented to you in such a way, but you're okay with presenting it to somebody else in a certain way, not because it's right, but because it's allowed.
because I can. Well, when I drop,
Because I can. Yes.
because I can, and I do, it's because if and when I do, and I've done that very often, or I just put it out there, it is easier when online. Online is like a catch-22. It's easy, but it has this backdraws. But when I do, it's because I already know, and I'm cool if he were to do that to me. I've had dudes do that, come out the bathroom, they dick out, and I'm like, whoa, what's up? But we've had the conversation. I'm not offended. I think you're assuming that you place in all in all. You know, yes, there's a majority that would be highly offended if somebody was to come out the bathroom with their dick out. but then there
Not
are
I.
yeah, not I.
And you gotta test
There
the
we go.
temperature. Like you for real need to test the temperature. You know where you at with a person. You know what you can and can't say with a person. We're adults.
I'm gonna take it a step further, and I'll be the old one. I don't give a fuck, whatever. When the one time we do have to ask for consent, and if this is a very uncomfortable subject for everybody, and I'm sure the ladies know where I'm leading up to. The only time we have to ask for consent is when it comes to our cycle. Can I even be at
Yep.
your
That's a
house
fact.
True.
at my cycle? Can Tim said earlier, you know, if or somebody said you go to touching, I think it was right. You might feel a fucking pad. You might pull a string. You know what I'm saying? So we have to, if we're still in the early stages and everything's been cool, let's say we have or have not had sex and it's been 2 or 3 weeks, you might fall on that third week of the month, you know, and I'm getting my visitor, then you do have to ask for consent because you don't know what a man has been through. I hate to be all serious now, but some men have been molested. They've been molested by women, and it was disgusting. And that woman may have been on her cycle the first time he had an experience with somebody. So you can't assume. So some niggas are about shit. Period. Stop sentences. What's up, bitch? You know what I'm saying? But some men are grossed out, and you have to respect that. They don't want you in their bed. They might have certain sheets. They, you know, that's when I do ask for consent. And the way that I do, I ask him, what's your opinion on that? I'm not offended. I like to have an adult conversation when it comes to a cycle. It's very natural. Everybody has one unless they got this shit ripped out and she too old to be fucking anyway. But
What?
my mama's still getting fucked.
Jesus.
Dick to me. But you know, that's the one time I can personally say that I ask for consent.
And I ask every time because just because we had sex the one time on my period, I'm not about to think every time my cycle come, I can just hop on.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Every single time I ask for consent.
Exactly. And I'm the type, I've been very blessed. My shit is about 27, 28 hours and I'm good. And I don't walk around and flow like that. But I still have to ask for consent because it's just gross for some men. And he's not saying I'm gross. He's not with that shit.
What about with sexual acts? Because a lot of conversations that I've had with women about sex and sex toys and anal shit, whether it's, you know, the gooch, the ass, fingers, tongue, whatever, or vibrators, cock rings, all that shit. How do you ask for consent as a woman with sexual acts?
So
or do you?
is because you're saying consent. I'm sorry. When I think of consent, I think very legally. I'm asking you, do you mind if I use this sex toy on you? To me, it's a conversation that naturally occurs in the course of, you know, dating someone or dealing with someone. Like, do you play with toys? Have you ever used a toy? But like you're saying consent, and I'm in my head, I'm like, okay, we're about to do the act, and I gotta stop what I'm doing to ask him, is it okay if we use this toy? Well, to me, that's just not. I don't know. That just doesn't seem natural to me. But am I wrong? Is that crazy? Like,
no,
I don't
gonna say that you're
that
wrong. I'm not gonna say that you're wrong, but what I'm saying is, like, again, like, and somebody just put in the chat, these are as prior to sex. But might I say again, right? I can have conversations all day about slapping my dick on a bitch face, about nutting on a bitch face. Text conversations, phone conversations, face-to-face conversations about what you like during sex, what you cool with during sex, what you not cool with. Totally different ball game. When we actually get into the bedroom and now I'm planning on slapping my dick on your face. When I'm
her ass pump faking.
What you say?
Her ass is over there pump faking. Now she want to come in the bedroom and be all shy and shit. No, bitch, I was serious when I said I wanted to slap my dick.
Exactly.
I'm on board. I'm on board with you on the pump faking part. But to be realistic, though, those things that I just mentioned might be things that particular woman she'll do them, but she has to be in the mood to do them. So you
So
don't.
it's dirty talk consent.
Yeah, that's
Not
talking
Because
about
to
prior
me,
too, though.
if we're talking about how you like to slap your dick on people's face, okay, so now me and you are in the act. If you just say before you do it, like I'm about to slap my dick on your face or whatever kind of dirty talk, is that
Now,
consent to you?
see how that was. See how that was so. That was awkward for you to say. You don't even got no dick.
I have a
I
couple.
was going to
I have
correct.
a couple in
Jackson
the drawer
said
thanks
on
to
the dick
erotic
space.
boudoir, first of all. But I'm just saying, however, dirty talk, just like you was talking about the toy. If I'm dealing with somebody, and we talked about toys prior, and we're in the act, I'm gonna be like, "Do you mind? I'm gonna get the toy." Or if I pull out the toy and just look at him, and he say yay or nay. But like to me, I don't know. In my head, that's not consent, but I guess it is.
But it's not
Personal
all.
Because just like
conversation
with
to
you
me,
coming
like,
on somebody's face, you could be like, "How you want me to come? Tell me how you want me to come. Tell me where you want me to
right.
come." To me, that's consent. That's me telling you, know what, bust on my face, bust on here, you know what I'm saying? So what is, like, to me, I wouldn't consider that consent, but I guess it is.
Well, that's why I like that exact reason or explanation is why I feel like the conversation is at least needed, like the dialogue, not necessarily like the sex conversation, but just this conversation in general, because again, like consent it's so gray. Like it is so gray, depending on the time that you discuss some shit, depending on people's moods, depending on if it sound cool or not. You know what I'm saying? Because like honestly, right, I could say some shit in it. This is something that people just battle with today. I could say some shit in the text sound cool as a motherfucker. I could, you know what I'm saying, fancy my words up and make it be like, and make you think that taking a facial is just the cat's meow. You feel me? But then when we get in the bedroom, and who knows what I'm about to say when I'm about to nut, right? Who knows? I don't know.
We all know I'm about to nut.
There was a
It's
We
a
whole
all
personal
know.
episode devoted
conversation
to it.
though with that
There
I'm
was a
about
particular
to
whole
nut.
person.
episode devoted to what you
Hey,
say, man.
put your fist in the small of her back, like we all know.
It's
But I'm
different if you saying what you gonna do on a platform, but when you are in having those type of conversations with that person, you got to make it more personal. What do you like? What are you okay with? Like,
Yes.
but
what you gonna do if you getting ready to bust? How
let's
you
be
gonna handle that?
clear.
You gonna pull out and ask for consent and then bust? That's gonna fuck up the nut.
But that's my point is that's kind of my point of like when you're in the moment, you trying to be so in the moment, but then a thought pops in your head like, damn, I don't want to overstep no boundaries. So let me say this or phrase it like this, or how can I say this where she'll let me do what I want to do and make sure she's okay. Like all while trying to still bust this glorious nut. You know what I'm saying? Like that's I guess I'm saying that that's
It's a boundary conversation before you get there.
But here's the thing,
what
though.
y'all saying. It's a boundary. Your boundary, maybe just with the people that I've experienced and through my 36 years, boundaries change based on your environment. You know what I'm saying? Like you can, and I've lived these conversations where when we talking and we texting and we having dinner, or we, you know what I'm saying, I'm at my crib and you at your crib, but we still communicating. You with all of the shits, but then when we get down to it, now you may not be with it. You having second thoughts. You're not in the mood. You're a little shy. You was just talk. You
Pick
thought
a better caliber of woman, Jackson. Pick a better. You be
it's not.
picking
That's
chicks.
it. Y'all,
You be
But
picking
Jackson,
chicks that be pump faking. Like,
come on, but that's no, but chill, because that's low. That's low hanging fruit. That's really low hanging fruit. Like honestly, to tell me to pick a better women. Like I've had experiences with many women, and I've had conversations with many women that I've never had sex with. And what I'm telling you is with what I don't know a lot about women, but what I do know is niggas change their fucking minds with with blows of the fucking wind. And your mood can affect what your boundaries are. And y'all have, maybe not y'all, but women that I've talked to on a podcast platform have told me that your boundaries are different based on the niggas that you with. I still think that's bullshit, but a lot of women believe that.
I can admit to that. I believe it. I'm just speaking for my goddamn self. When I'm with somebody,
That's That's a fact. That's a fact. Not everybody
Y'all-
ready for everything that you can give.
And that's what I appreciate about y'all. Like y'all really my friends. Like y'all my BFFs in my fucking head for real. So if people be like, people in Philly, yeah, they got my back. People in Atlanta got my back.
I don't know, Mrs. Wendell.
But I'm so open
That's
with
right,
y'all
blood.
to a fucking talk.
Come on, blood. Come to Georgia to get a plate, blood.
Got you.
So I'm just like, when it comes to it, I have always been like this, and I've been trying not to, and I used to get pissed when people say it. But if I know a man is of a certain stature, he got money, he got status, blah blah blah, I'm very lenient with him. But that UPS nigga got to jump through hoops, and UPS niggas make great money.
And they strong. They lift boxes all day.
Ooh,
So I'm saying, like,
Oh my.
two men I was madly in love with these UPS niggas, but I put them niggas through it. I put
Why?
them through it. But
Why?
I honestly left an NBA player for a UPS dude, for real. But our main issue was that he wouldn't come in my mouth. He had hangups about that, but I'm not going to be on here like men do it too. But he wouldn't come in my mouth, and I had issues with that. And I was in love with this nigga. Like, this nigga still my soulmate. But he always thought, like, in the back of his head, like a baller could take me away from him. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But we do that shit. So it does depend. I'm just gonna be honest. For me, it does depend, because if I think you ain't shit and this ain't going nowhere, you not doing all this nasty shit that I like to do. You're not doing none of that. And if you can't fucking do shit for me that I can do for you, if I can pay for a vacation and like, yo, let's go do something last minute, and you can't do it too, then no, you're not getting you're not getting no nasty. You getting some regular, I'm gonna leave my glasses on shit. You know what I'm saying? And I might text one from the back.
the glasses.
Because I wear glasses, I know exactly what
The
that
glasses is part of the fantasy.
People who wear glasses. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
that's-
If a woman
that's the
wears
worst.
glasses, she gotta wear them, and she leave them on, your dick is trash.
I'm fucking your frames up, nigga. Fucking them shits
Wow.
up.
You see how thin these shits are?
Wow. First of all, my lens is fragile. Don't do that.
Fuck
Yeah,
that.
and appointments are hard to come.
Smashing your face into the headboard, bitch. Fuck your glasses.
Now you want to fuck up my eyesight. That's fucked up.
Guess what? I can't see us together. I can't see us working.
Yo, they gonna arrest Jackson, bro. Chill, bro.
I can't see no
Jackson
relationship.
got very domestic real quick.
They gonna read you your Miranda rights. Relax, bro.
No, the glasses are serious. Don't do that.
Domestic abuse.
I mean, my
Everybody
therapist
kept
no more for
one
free.
thing everybody keeps saying is that, yo, we gotta talk about it before, but I'm sure during the act there are things y'all haven't discussed that people will try. Like I've said this story 100 times. I think Nick know this stuff. I've said this 100 times. The time where they kept on circling around my booty hole, bro, and trying to, like, you know what I mean? And I had to be like, like,
He
chill.
drew a circle? What?
Like, yo, I never gave him no consent like
What
that.
I know? What
They
happened?
was
I'm not gonna lie.
she was circling around your asshole like she was a vulture in the desert.
Bruh, like
With her
basically,
finger on her
basically
tongue.
we
Like,
ju-
let's talk
We wanna
about
see
this.
how
I
far
need
you
to
gonna
know.
go.
so
How far you
basically
gonna
we
take
just finished, right? And you know how y'all be, you be relaxed, whatever. She started caressing me, and next thing you know, she started circling around my, my
That's good.
whatever. I had to be like, like I had to be like, nah. But she definitely tried me though. But that's an
Booty and the
example,
finger ass nigga.
Maybe she wanted to see how far you was going to go, like you would
bro.
go.
But
Yeah,
that's an
definitely.
example of, like, she ain't asked for consent. She just took it upon herself to try to, like, do what she felt like doing.
Did you
You know
tell
what I
her
mean?
no means
Now
no?
that is something I always ask for consent for men, like, because I know that's a touchy subject, a touchy area. So I never disrespect a man like that, because to me, I wouldn't want to be disrespected like that. So that I do always ask for consent.
But why is it different?
Thank you. I was just gonna say that.
Why is that different?
Because for some reason, a lot of men, their masculinity is in their asshole, and if you touch that, it kind of makes them feel away. So I definitely, I don't want to feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't just go and stick my finger in a nigga's ass. Like, that's
You ain't
just
about
not.
to finger pop me, bro. Like,
I think
Without, but see, that's the only time men really sometimes understand consent is when you talk about that. Like if they be like, oh, why can't I just? But then you be like, okay, if I could just do that to you, then they be like, oh, okay, we understand.
But maybe low key, maybe it's the only time you understand consent, because that's the only degree of consent that you respect when it comes to fucking a nigga. Because everything else,
wouldn't it be the same thing with nipples?
Everything else, you said, fuck it, I'm doing it.
Say that again, Rob. Say that again, Rob.
I said, wouldn't it be like the same concept when it comes to nipples? Like, because a lot of I know a lot of men who feel away when it comes to having their nipples sucked.
Yes.
Me too.
But it's
like, but do you stop and ask for consent before, like, I'm about to lick your nipple? You cool with that? Like, do you stop and ask, or do you just do it and wait for his reaction? Like, let me see if that's gonna work.
Honestly, I don't do it unless they tell me that's something they like. I don't just. That's not something I do. Like I would have to.
I think it's ironic.
I dudes and they tell me like I really like my nipples, so then I do it. But that's just not something I just go and do either.
Yeah,
and I don't ask for consent for it. I don't. That's just not something in my repertoire that I normally.
I never seen it as consent. I just be like, look, what you not with? I know most black men, no, Latino men, they fucking bust it open. I'll be like, damn, y'all niggas like shit up your ass. But black men, you have to be
yes, indeed.
Yeah, black men gotta hang up.
I gotta assume that you don't want nothing around your ass or anything. So what are you okay with? And that's how it opens the door. But I never really thought of it as consent. And damn, that's kind of wrong for me to just assume that a man would ask me for consent. Yeah. And I never saw it as consent. I just saw it as boundaries and respecting boundaries. Because men, it's a lot of black men. I love, appreciate, depend, need, and love black men. So the last thing I want to do is disrespect boundaries. And I've been like that ever since I was young. I remember losing my virginity and asking him, well, this is how I want it, but how do you want it? What do you want? And I don't know why I was so concerned about that. But when it comes to non-black men, I don't do that. It's just like I do what I want to. When it comes to a black man, I do have the boundaries. That shit is
I wanna ask the men, because I don't want the ladies. I don't want y'all feeling like I'm just coming to y'all. So I want to ask the guys, man, how do you ask for consent, like during sex, or when it comes to sexual acts or sexual things? Like how do y'all do it?
I just ask. like I keep saying this is not what you say, it's how you say it. You know what I mean? Like if I'm kissing on your stomach and I'm headed downwards, like it's like
but that's the sexy talk.
You know what I mean? Like I'll ask, like,
you like this?
Nah, I like you just asked. You know what I mean? But I can't think of too many things I'm gonna do to you that I have to like. If we already in the act, what am I asking? Like, I'm confused. Like, what do you mean?
Just smooth.
That was me too.
Like what?
Like if you're already in the act, are you really supposed to stop at every turn and ask for consent? Can I lick your nipple? Can I kiss your stomach? Can I eat your pussy? Can I stick my dick in? Can you flip around? Like at every point you're supposed to ask for consent.
But what's wrong with that though? If a nigga
too much, bro.
If a nigga
sex that people like is the flow. You know what I mean? We gotta start and stop, keep going. Like that's going to be all day. I got other things to do.
Right, and that's business. And that's unattractive. No, that's a little unattractive. That's a little over the top. That's the title of my shit.
Right, especially because, but see, I think the problem is that most of us have a pre-sex conversation. So this is why I don't expect consent at every turn if we get to that point of having sex. You know what I'm saying? Like I really don't expect a question every single time.
I got you.
Because as adults we have already had this discussion most times prior to.
I got you.
Yeah,
maybe this is hard for me to understand because I'm not a non-vocal female either. If I don't want to do something, I really have no problem saying no, I don't want to do that. And I'm also very cognizant of not putting myself in certain situations where I might feel threatened if I say no, or feel some type of like feel like my safety is in danger if I say no.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to some dude's house, apartment. I mean, hotel room at 2:00 in the morning, knowing that I don't want to scrunk. Because I like sometimes. I mean, you know what that call is. Now, yes, if I get there, no, he shouldn't expect sex. But you come on, as an adult, a female, I know if you calling me at 2 something in the morning to come to your hotel room, I know what that's about.
So
So
why
if
does
I
that?
feel like I don't want to do that, I should not show up. So
It's
that
just
I don't,
cases.
when I get there and I'm saying no, I feel threatened in any kind of way. That's what I mean when I say I don't put myself in those type of situations.
Have you ever like because like why do those situations even happen? Like why do y'all think?
What situation?
Like a situation where a woman will come over at a certain hour and you know she will come to your crib, she will go in your room, she will go in your bed, but then she won't want to do anything sexual. Like why do y'all think that those situations ever occur?
Maybe on some
No,
cuddle
that's
shit. Maybe on some cuddle shit. But in this day and age, in the last 25 years, no man should allow any woman, I don't give a fuck if she's a porn star or what, to come over at that hour and not make it crystal fucking clear. Because it's too many fucking rape cases where, and women, even with the whole hotel scene, I don't do that shit. I don't go over there because I've known too many people where that case gets thrown out. They will drag your shit up, and I've been a victim of sexual assault. They will drag your shit up, all kinds of shit, from me dancing in the club, from text messages to fucking booty shots that they probably got me on Zoom promising Trav if he lose some goddamn weight, I'll send him the news. There's all that shit in court, you know. But I think if you invite somebody over, you need to make it crystal fucking clear that, hey, I'm trying to clap them cheeks.
Mm-hmm.
And even if she say no, do not clap them. Just saying. And don't
How
invite
much
her back over.
how much room as men, right? How much room do we give women to change their mind? Like on some sexual shit. And what I
Oh, sure. We
much
we
as
give
they
them all the
need,
room in the
goddamn.
world. Once they don't want to do it, you gotta fall back.
Nah, I'm not saying this is not saying that you're gonna say fuck that. I'm saying like how much room do you allow without you being upset about it? Like how much par for the course, if that's a better phrase. Like do you like if you invite a woman over tonight, after y'all done text, after she done said that she with the shit, how much room in your mind, how much space do you tell yourself like, you know what? It's a good chance that when she come over here, she's still not gonna be with the shit. Like, or does that go ahead?
See, this is what I was going to say, right? Because you asked the fellas about the question prior to us getting kind of deep in this conversation that Vic answered. What was that question you had for the fellas about how we know? You said, and you asked how we asked for consent, right? So this kind of leads into all of that, right? So what it is for me, right? I'm the person that actually I don't verbalize asking consent, right? My whole shit is always based off of energy. You know what I mean? It's to where I allow the women to actually make the first move and the proper moves to let me know that it's about to go the fuck down.
Okay.
But also to what you're saying in this situation, as far as how much room do we give a woman for this, that, and the other, a lot of times I base that off of the work that I put in prior to her coming over. You know what I'm saying? Like as far as just how those conversations have went prior to her coming through there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I can always, again, say little things, put little hints out there, and depending on her reaction to it, I can kind of, get a decent understanding of where she at. You know what I'm saying? But I've been in situations, bro, to where, me and a woman may have had this like physical chemistry. We could have been into a situation to where like foreplay is at an all-time high. Like we done went from talking to kissing on the neck to me licking on her nipples to me kissing down her stomach. I can literally get all the way down to her pussy. But if we've never had sex before, I might lick all the way around that pussy. But until I get some type of assurance, I won't eat her pussy. Like if she doesn't give me that little arch in that back that I need, or that little sperm that I'm not eating her. Like, I'm just not gonna do it.
Yeah.
He said,
You know what I'm saying? Like, because we haven't had sex before. I don't really know how totally how you rock. And I know you allow us to get to this point, but I'm not gonna sit here and assume that we just about to all the way get it in just because you allow me to go this far. Like, I need that something, because if you don't give it to me and I go ahead and try to fuck you anyway, and let's say it does happen, but now the energy is fucked up, I'm gonna feel fucked up when it's all, I'm gonna feel bad about that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't pay attention to her body or the signs that she was giving me. You know what I'm saying? So I give women all the space, bro. I really be on some don't expect shit type shit a lot of times. Like, I really thoroughly pay close attention, and I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm doing my work prior. You know what I'm saying? So if I feel like our conversations aren't at a certain level already, and our chemistry ain't at a certain level already, I'm definitely not gonna assume nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I just play the field that way to keep myself right, to keep myself safe in the matter.
I feel it. Yo, that something you said made me think of another question about how you were saying that you're not gonna basically eat her out if you don't know like what's on the other side of that. And I want to know, what's the level? I don't know if consent is the right word for this scenario, but in a scenario where you've gotten head already, so you good, but the whole time you wasn't planning on returning the favor.
No, that would never be me.
No, but I'm just, he said, no.
He was dead ass.
Yo,
That would never be me.
That would never be me. I'm
very clear.
eating
happens,
pussy
though.
off rip. Like, if she's giving me head, I'm eating pussy off rip.
That's fucking classic. But no, so all right, so I'm not saying you specifically. I'm just saying you made me think of the question. Is what I'm saying. Because I've been in a situation. This was like, matter of fact, this was like a couple of years ago, and I spoke about it on. It was so funny because I spoke about it on the pod, and then the girl immediately unfollowed me like after the fact, and I was just talking about how this was this is perfect. This is a situation where I met this chick on some online shit. We were just like chopping it up. I wasn't saying no sexual, nothing or whatever. And one day she said, she hit me up and she was like in the neighborhood. She wanted to like stop by and say what's up. And then, matter of fact, it was literally on like a fucking holiday. So it was on like either the day before Thanksgiving or like the day after, or it might have even been on Thanksgiving, but like at night, like after, she didn't see her family or some shit like that. And she was like, I'm in the hood. Just wanted to, see if I could come say what's up. I was like, all right, yeah, bet. I ain't doing shit. I'm chilling, watching the movie, whatever. She come through. And what makes this significant is the fact within our conversations while we were texting and talking, she was telling me about how she was looking for something serious. She wasn't really into wasting her time. She wasn't into the one night stands or just like the sexual relationships or what have you. She had a kid, so she was like really trying to, not be on bullshit. I respected it. I wasn't, and I told her like, I'm not looking for no relationship, but I respect the fact, I respect your boundaries, basically. She come over, we watching Bird Box. First time Bird Box was like the big shit. I had never seen it because I don't be hopping on trends and shit. So I was like a couple of months late. She was like, you ain't never seen Bird Box? And I was like, no, bitch. And turned the shit up. we turned the movie on, whatever. We watching the movie and shit. Can't nobody see nothing in the goddamn movie or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, she just started like, like giving me a head. And I'm like, this don't align with nothing that we was talking about. But all right, go ahead. You feel me? Proceed. And you know, the hair was pretty good or what have you. And so like she sucked me off to completion. And then like at that point, like shit, I'm good. Like I'm good to go. I'm chilling, right?
This nigga here.
Listen.
He ain't asked though.
I
Wait.
didn't.
He ain't asked.
And I did not return the favor
She was mad.
because that was not on my itinerary for the night.
She chose to give it. You didn't ask.
Yeah, right.
And she asked me straight to my face, which I respected. She said something about she said something like, am I gonna be the only one who gets amazing head tonight or something like that? And I'm not gonna lie to you.
Nigga said,
Boy,
yeah.
I don't know how I wiggle my way out of that shit, nigga. But when I tell you, nigga, I fucking Neo, I was Matrix in that bitch. I don't even remember what I said. I think I just said something like, yo, I just I wasn't mouthfully or mentally prepared to do any of that.
That's funny.
What? You making up words?
Yes.
for
Did that
this
work?
nigga here, boy.
Okay, did that work?
Yeah, she got offended. She got offended, and then she
Of course she did.
Did y'all fuck again? Or did y'all have, did you get oral from her again?
no, that was a one and done for sure.
Oh.
She assumed.
One
Yeah.
and done for sure.
Yeah,
But
she
men do that
assumed,
too.
bro.
Men assume if I
She assumed right
I'm
with
gonna
me.
eat you out, or I'm gonna eat her pussy or some shit that they're going to fuck. They set themselves up for a failure. I've had that happen a few times.
I agree, but this is so I tell the story, right? To say like that's a weird, like I feel like that was unfair consent on her part to like do something to me without asking me. And then when she's done, she's not really asking me to do something because like we're in the middle of it. She's asking for like an obligation, like because I just did this. Now I expect for you to do this back to me.
I would have fell asleep, bro. I would have fell asleep. That's my way out of it.
I have a question.
I got a question.
Going to sleep in the Uber.
What's up? No, you say you got a question?
I got a question. So if a dude asks me for consent and asks me to eat my pussy and I oblige, does that
on my period? I'm sorry.
Huh?
I told her I was on my period. That's hilarious.
If a dude asks me to eat my vagina and I oblige, is it wrong for me when I don't return the favor?
Nah, you can't really say it's wrong. Like you can't. It's hard for me to sit here and say that somebody's wrong for not doing something that they don't want to do. Like I can't really ever be the guy to say that. I will say that it's.
I don't think it's that you don't want.
But he asked me.
He
I
just-
said,
yeah.
like, I didn't say that. I didn't say that's something I wanted to do. He asked me. Okay.
Yeah.
He did it. Like, oh, girl did it to you. Not that you didn't want to. I'm just not gonna do it.
But she
because-
didn't ask.
In my
She just took it
defense,
upon herself.
yeah, like I was. See, this is where
To her
He was a
question.
bystander.
I just know, like, it's not even in it. I really just I be respecting what people like. I'm a nigga. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. So I assume that other people do the same shit. So if you tell me that you want to come over and say what's up, and you just want to, you know what I'm saying, stop by real quick and shoot the shit, and you done told me that you want this serious shit, you're not sucking random dick, you're not fucking random niggas, you got a kid, you're trying to raise her right to not be a whore like you were. Right? If you telling me all this shit, I believe you. I don't know you enough to call you a liar. I believe what you're telling me on the surface. Like, all right, bet. The girl about to come over. I'm about to be fully clothed. We just about to kick it, tell some jokes, and then she gonna bounce. That's my mentality. I'm prepared to not get no dick sucks. So now you go fucking up the plans by sucking all this dick. What the fuck
You up at that point.
What you want me to do? Shit.
You won. You was up.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
just
Like,
didn't.
I'm just trying to look. I'm
Man,
just trying
Jackson
to.
said, "Yo, I gotta be at work early
I
in the
mean, she
morning
was
tomorrow,
capping.
bro."
I mean, she was
I have a
capping like
question.
motherfucker.
So what you about to do?
I have
My
a,
man, Jack said, "So what you about to do right now, bro?"
This
Look.
nigga here.
Nah,
Nah, I ain't
Start
giving.
stretching and shit.
she
I
was
could think
tight.
of a few people that if they did that to me, I wouldn't return the favor, bro. Like if you a slide, where I know, like I don't care about you, bro. You do that, you just did a public service. Like I didn't ask for that. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like
PBS.
I'm not returning that.
I think we missing a
Like,
moral of the story too, Vic. If Jax was had enough finesse in him to swindle himself out that situation, he got enough finesse to get pussy too.
Yeah, but
No,
no,
he
see,
wants us to believe he not
facts, bro.
that's
He's
Listen,
not
immoral.
cheat.
I never
listen,
said I.
you
No,
have
no, no. I never.
Evian, you haven't been on this live much. I told you my theory on Jackson all the time. I don't believe him,
Yeah.
bro. I'll let you
Look,
know. And
I
I
never.
have concrete
Nobody
evidence
believes him.
as to why I don't believe him. I don't believe
I
him, bro.
never said. But I never said that I couldn't. I said that I don't because it's not cool, and I feel like it's cheat. I feel like it's cheating. You know what I'm saying? Vanessa,
But you gotta understand too, you doing it without knowing that you're doing it too.
wait, say that. Say that again.
I'm saying like you're doing it without knowing that you're doing it too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like finesse doesn't mean that you're really on some like sneaky kind of cap shit. Like that's not necessarily what that is.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's like finesse is basically you're coming in your head and saying like, hey, this is how I'm going to approach this situation.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's not always a bad or a negative context.
yeah, it's really
Like-
just a bad word. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying?
Okay.
Like Vic, he finessed that shit, you know. He be finessing shit. But
Listen,
Vic
man.
be out here going for the gusto.
Finesse kings out here. I like
I mean,
that.
but see, that nigga from New
Vic will
York
pull
City though.
Vic pull
Like,
a girl mask
Finesse
off.
is definitely a
Like, what the fuck?
personality trait.
New York City, like New York, these niggas is
Real
city
aggressive.
slickers, dog. Like
we
New
do.
York,
That nigga
They
King.
got it.
King finesse.
Vic COVID mask got dead ass on. Like he ain't playing out here.
Finesse means she ain't was with it. Like I don't think I finesse. I just go with the flow. Like if you give me an inch, I'm gonna take a little. You know, I want to see what
You
the
gonna take a
goal
mile,
is,
nigga.
bro.
Don't try to.
That's the tip part.
Bro, like I
Yeah.
told you,
Not to
Shorty
say
asked to
mile,
sit
nigga. You
on
gonna
my
take a
lap. I
mile.
thought she was gonna sit on my left lap. Next thing you know, you in the middle of my crotch. Like, what am I supposed to do? And the crazy thing is, I got
You was-
therapy. Did I tell y'all the whole story?
No.
The whole story was right. I go on the date. She sits on me, right? She said, "Can I sit on your leg?" I'm thinking she's gonna sit on my left leg. She
She sat in the
sit
middle.
right in the middle of my crotch.
She applied
So-
pressure.
She was
So now
sizing you up.
it's a little awkward, but I know what she's doing. So I put my arm around her, right? Why this lady come out of nowhere like, yo, oh my God, you guys look like a cute couple. Could I take a picture with you? Could I take a picture of you guys, right? There's a lady with her. She has a friend,
Weirdo.
right? She has a friend that's next to her. So she comes to take the picture. The friend was my therapist, bruh. Yo, I got therapy tomorrow morning, bro.
The gag.
Yo,
The friend
nigga,
was my
you
therapist.
should have
Bro.
started
It
with
was the
that
most
part.
awkward thing ever, bro. And I got therapy tomorrow morning, so I don't even know.
Yo,
Bro,
yo, when you said that,
the
Vic,
gag.
yo, I imagine a therapist like getting their client caught up is almost like your girl getting you caught up. Like I feel like she could come over there and be like, really, Vic, this what we doing? Like,
yo,
like
I don't even know how much when the Zoom screen come on. I don't even know if I can look at it in the eye. Like, yo,
He has to be professional.
Put your flag up.
You gotta be prepared with the
Oh,
what
man.
happened was.
Oh my God.
that shit, somebody got to do a skit like that, yo.
yo,
I
she
could
said,
just see the
That's
therapist
hilarious.
coming up like, really?
yo, I
This what
think
we
I'm gonna
doing,
tell the
Vic?
therapist
I knew
next
you was
time
a
your
nut
friend
ass
sees
nigga.
someone doing something, tell her to mind her business, bro.
Look
Like,
at the
why she
fact,
came
though.
out of nowhere? Oh my God, y'all look cute together.
They said that the therapist was in on it. Maybe she sent her friend over there to do it.
Nah,
Somebody,
she couldn't see me from that angle. I think she
oh
just
no,
saw
what she
like,
saw, she probably saw
Oh
y'all the whole
shit,
night.
bruh, man, that thing was something else, man.
nigga, you gonna get on that
But
Zoom? You gonna get on that Zoom tomorrow? She gonna be like, "I saw you with the
She
little
gonna catch you for an
friend.
extra hour.
for real, like,
It was the 30 minutes.
I saw you with your little friend at the pool."
Little
So,
friend.
Vic, how did that make you feel?
yo, man, nah. But I like, I'm gonna be real, man. I just been on enough dates to read the room, bro. That's really what it is.
Oh,
Like, as men,
shit.
I know when to be aggressive and when not to be aggressive. Like, you know what I mean? When you give me the indication that you with it, then yeah, I'll be a little bit more aggressive. But if I can't read your vibe, I play it like Evian said, I'm playing it safe. I'm gonna fall back. Like, if I can't clearly read your vibe, I'm gonna play it safe.
I feel that. But Jackson,
What's
let's
up?
go back to your little scenario where she was talking all this shit. I'm a single mother and blah blah blah. I got all this stuff, and then
I
she's
hate
stopping
those.
you live like it's nobody's business.
Yeah.
All
Did
that extra shit.
all the extra shit? Did you at any point in time think like even as it was happening, did she pull your pants down? I knew you was wearing some sweatpants and the fucking thick strap hoodie. Did she go grab it?
Right.
Did she put her face in there? At what point did you decide not to advise her? Yo, I'm not returning the favor. Yo, this what does this mean? I'm confused. When did you just and
I'm
what was
confused.
going on in your head where you just decided I'm just gonna accept this shit and
um
not go through the shit you was talking about earlier?
well, like the moment that I realized that she was full of shit was
I mean, hey, it's facts now. Come on now.
was nah, and it was a clear
Snapple
indicator.
facts.
It was way before the dick suck even occurred, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when we started to watch the movie, um, I was like chilling like in the bed. Like I wasn't like naked or nothing like that. I was on top of the covers, you know what I'm saying? I was just sitting on the bed, like with my back against the headboard, like just on some chilling shit. And when we was about to start the movie, like in my room, I have my bed, I have my exercise ball, and then I have like a chair that's in there.
They're
So
like, why are you all the way over there? Right?
no, I didn't even I don't even
They got me
I don't say that
exercise
no
ball.
more. I don't even say that line no more, bro.
No, she said that to you. Why
Oh,
you
she
all the
said
way
that
over
to
there?
me. Why you all the way over there? A guest asking you why you all the way over there is crazy. But nah, so like I was chilling in the bed, she was in the chair, and we was about to start the movie, and she got up as if she was about to get in the bed with me, but when she got to the side of the bed, she like took her pants off. So I'm like,
Nick, you see, come on now. Hey, bro.
Wow,
God
that's
damn it now.
wow.
so I'm
Hey,
like,
that's on you
You
now.
came over there ready for this.
Hold on.
That's on you
She was
now,
only in
dog.
her drawers.
Oh shit.
Did she have
yeah,
on cute
That's on you
panties? She
now,
had on cute
bro.
panties.
I don't remember. I don't know.
Bruh, she
She
was
knew what she
only
was
in her
doing.
drawers watching the movie.
Yeah, she was like, because I guess she
My
and
move. That's what I do. I just pull my pants down. Like, yo.
Or do you have a no outside clothes rule in my bed type of
Yeah,
thing?
that used to be my move right there, though,
well, this
son.
is the, no, this is the thing though,
Hey.
because like honestly,
Oh,
honestly, that sounds like a line, but it's really not. Like I don't even like I have when I like go to the gym and I'm wearing sweats and I'm on the train or on the bus or sitting on like locker room benches and shit, like I like my sweatpants, my outside pants don't touch my bed. But I have sweats, I have shorts that I got lounge shit that I wear in the crib. So for women, I don't even say that. What I'll offer if I think that a woman is gonna be over and we're gonna be in the bed or chilling or something, I'll just be like, yo, you need some shorts, you need some sweats. Like, so not to even imply that like, you gotta take your pants off. Like not no weird. That's creep. That's creep shit to me.
Look
Did
at
she know that, or she
look
just
at
took her pants off?
No,
willy-nilly?
exactly. She just took her shit off, right?
This was all on her own.
Oh, she
permission.
came over there
Yeah,
ready to do
that's consent.
This was all on her own. So when I saw that, I'm in the I'm literally like my feet is up. I'm chilling on the bed and like she walks over and I'm watching the TV is like right here. She walks over here and I'm thinking she's just gonna hop in and then she's fucking like strip her shit off and I look over like
She's like a,
Nigga, you
like a basketball player.
Fuck, see?
This nigga
Fuck,
said
yo.
You had
he
to have
ripped the sweats off, bro, like a basketball player.
See, exactly. She
yo
ripped them shits off like she was Larry Bird.
hell yeah.
This nigga-
So, but look, that's why you full of shit, Jack. Because you knew when she got them swiped them sweats off and she got in that fucking bed, you knew a
Yeah, you-
woman does
you
not take her
knew she wanna
pants
get some
off
sloppy
in front of a man. A woman does not take her pants off in front of a man unless she's completely comfortable.
No,
Facts.
I get that, right? So that's what I'm saying. So like when that happened in my mind, I'm like, I'm a little thrown off.
Ain't nothing to be thrown
really
off
don't be
about.
paying
No,
attention.
I'm in the room.
I'm being totally honest. I'm being totally honest though. I'm a little thrown off, but at the same time, like, of course, I'm not complaining. I'm like, oh shit, like, oh, okay. I'm like,
And that right there is why we don't ask for consent.
but let me still go forward though. She got, but what I didn't say was like, oh yeah, like I'm about to get some pussy or I'm about to. My mind did not go there.
In your T. Davis voice.
My yeah.
What if that man she would have put
Yo,
her pants on?
I want to
That
know what
level
T.
deeper.
Davis would do in that scenario, yo. He's like, young lady,
He would fuck it up. That's what he would do.
That
He would
nigga,
fuck it up.
he would have said some stupid shit like, so I see you rocking the fruit balloon. Like,
So your favorite color is purple.
yeah, he was like, he would have said,
Y'all are
like,
hilarious.
I do enjoy the
Oh,
purple.
you like lace?
But nah, man. So then, like, so I'm like, oh, okay, like this don't really align with what she said, but fuck it, like we here. I'm all right, bet, like I'm with it. And this is gonna sound funny. I wasn't even thinking that head was gonna be on the table because this is the first time I'm like stereotypically black girls will have sex with you before they suck your dick. They're not gonna suck your dick before they have sex with you. Like that's just like
Nah, I wouldn't know.
that's damn near. I'm just saying. That's why I said stereotypically.
That's been my experience. He's accurate.
You know what I mean? But say that again.
Yeah, everybody don't get their dick sucked.
Yeah, I never experienced
I
it.
don't do it automatically, but I love it. Y'all know I've said it before. I don't
I've
like
never experienced it. Mm-mm.
That nigga sound hurt. That nigga.
The first, like,
That nigga said. That nigga said. Fuck them bitches who be doing that. I ain't never met them. I ain't never met these whores that they speak of.
this dude telling the truth, bro. Like I've never gotten then get never.
But nah, man. So
Well, I'm lying. I'm lying. I did. What? Yeah, but I'm lying. One time.
In your whole life.
Yep.
shit.
One time.
But yeah. So I still wasn't expecting that or whatever. So then when she like basically was working her way to fucking do that, I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. I'm gonna enjoy it. But I didn't like. I really honestly wasn't in the mind state of like eating no fucking pussy that night. Like I don't know you. Like you crazy for doing this to me.
I'm gonna let you do it though.
But see, that's the thing, though.
Dude said, "Bitch,
The
you
only
dog."
reason. See, that's the thing, Jack. You took too long. That was the problem.
What you
Took too
mean?
long.
What you
When
mean?
you get
Listen,
that
once he
head
was in the act, he couldn't
and
say
you
no.
bust, you could have flipped her over and started doing your own shit.
Nah, bro.
You wouldn't
I
even
fall
have to
asleep.
get into the fucking head.
He wasn't in the mood.
I'm not doing that for yeah.
If you wasn't in the mood, don't let her in the bed with them goddamn panties on.
Bro, I would have pulled up my sheets and put it over my chin and go right.
Exactly.
I'm not mad at her for doing it and him letting her.
God,
But
Because if you take them
wrong,
panties
you
on,
get bitches wanting to come at you. You got
Say that
bitches.
again.
I said I'm not mad at the whole scenario, but it does prove that you got bitches willing to come over there and just give it to you.
and we all knew that already.
This was
We all know that, but he be
Yeah,
trying
we
to
all knew that.
no. The Cookie Monster, the big bitch that was a Cookie Monster, came
Yeah,
over
that
there.
one was hilarious, man.
yeah. Her
that
head,
story is classic. And
her
now,
head was crazy. That shit
Son,
was crazy.
you talk about the one, the shadow. Every time she come closer, the shadow was getting bigger.
Oh no.
I don't know if I heard that one.
That was another big chick. That was in Georgia. She never got nowhere close to my room. But
This dude say, "Yo, come back in this alley right here." We couldn't tell you.
Yo, didn't they used to call those type of girls
Yo.
230s? Or girls you invited like 2:30 in the morning when nobody looking.
Yo, chill out, dog.
This shit, we ain't going upstairs, bro. Like,
Meet me in the car real quick.
Nah, man, the Cookie Monster girl was that was a catfish story. She catfished me, but then like
Nigga got catfish head? What the fuck?
yeah, nah,
bro,
listen. But
Yo.
look though, because catfish got them gills on the side, so that head was crazy. It was out the sea, nigga. But it was like, nah, so like she catfished me online, like with a whole different picture, all of the whole nine. But in the midst of her catfishing me, I guess she felt guilty because like she was like, damn, like you actually like a cool person or whatever. So she invited me she fessed up. She said, yo, I'm really not the girl in my picture. She made up this whole story about it being like a project for a fucking college class or some shit. I was like, man, whatever. Like I had taken so many L's at that point. I was just like, this shit is hilarious or whatever. So then she was just like, I want to make it up to you. I'm baking some cookies. You know what I'm saying? If you want to come over and have some, like you're welcome to. So at this point, I'm already invested.
With cookies.
I'm already.
What kind was it? What kind of
what was that dude from Family Guy that used to be? That used to be.
Yo, so when you got
come here with these little cookies, I got some cookies.
So you got catfish, and you and me from catfish are standing side by side with each other and realizing this person is not the person you're talking to the whole time. So you actually was able to look at Neve and be like, you know what? She offered me cookies, so I got her. I'm gonna fuck. I'm gonna fuck with her.
Well, it made it seem like those cookies were so fucking bomb, though.
Were they good though?
This is the thing. The cookies were, yeah, they were good. They were good. But the thing was, like, I'm not gonna lie, it was one of them cases where curiosity kind of killed the cat, because if I know for a fact that this person has catfished me and I know that she's not the person who I think that I'm talking to, part of me wants to know, like, how much of a catfish did you catfish me? Like, are you even anywhere remotely close to the bitch in the picture that you chose?
You had a lot of time on your hands.
Or are you? I mean, I was like 20. I was like 24.
She admitted to catfishing before you got over there and before you saw her.
So wait, say that again.
She admitted to being a catfish before you went over there.
Oh yes, for sure. Yes.
But she didn't show you what she looked like before you got over there.
No.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, you curious as fuck because
that nigga had some time, boy.
So
and she got her.
And still ate them cookies.
What episode is this? What season is this?
Bring this back.
I don't even remember. I told it on the one. I told it on Sex and Strangers, I think too, but I don't remember.
Bruh,
we did so many episodes, but
yo, you, son. That's
shit,
like when them dudes be like, I got candy in the van, And then they get in the van and they start candy. Like this dude took a risk, kid. That van door could have closed on you, and then you were. But then again, this
I really
So what happened
did.
with the cookie girl?
I'm gonna tell you though, like that was she like in my top 5 like head givers though. That shit was supremely sloppy. Like that shit was crazy. She really
She had to come with something.
Yeah, you're right.
Jax be treating head like he the hamburger.
That shit was funny though. It was
nigga be getting away with everything.
I ain't gonna lie though, that shit was weird. It was definitely an awkward situation though, because it was like she lived in like I mean, this was in Philly, so like the apartment that she lived in, it was almost like a row home apartment. So it was like it was ironic because the apartment was so slim, but she was so huge or whatever. So it was like it was crazy abstract. Like, and no, I'm being serious. It was like a shotgun apartment, but she was really, really, really big. She was really pretty though. So like really pretty in the face, but just like supremely large or whatever.
You had to go sideways.
Supremely.
What'd you say?
Jack like one of them SSBBWs.
Nah, nigga, she was fat, nigga.
But difference in thick and fat though.
What's the difference?
She was one of the SSBBWs, one of those.
There's a very big difference between thick and fat.
Hell yeah. I was about to take it back to Jay-Z. I was about to be like 30-40 grand, cocksucker, beat it. Like it's a huge difference between thick and fat. Like, but nah, man, she was big though. She was like a certified like big girl or whatever. And we get up there, she's super nice, super pretty. But like when I get up there, like all of her lights is off. Like her, like not off, like electric is off, but like her TV was on, but the lights was off. And then we like walk through, and I sit down on the sofa, and she like really did bring me out like a batch of fucking like chocolate chip cookies or whatever. And I tasted one, and I was like, oh, they cool, they decent. And then like we just sitting there watching some kind of fucking movie, something is on the TV. And she just like starts like rubbing my thigh and shit. And I'm like, this is weird. Or whatever.
You liked it.
But
what you mean it's weird?
You liked it.
You got catfish.
You got turned on.
I know. What you mean it's
they
weird?
Got a consolation prize for the catfish, bro.
Don't be lying to us. This is weird. Nah, you like it.
No, I mean I'm saying. No, I'm telling. What I'm saying is, in my brain is saying this is weird. My dick is saying, yeah. That's what I mean. Like,
nigga, you went in that abandoned building. Nigga,
it wasn't abandoned. It was a nice apartment.
You went in an abandoned building and got this house.
Hey, I'm gonna be honest with you, Jax. That's one of the wildest stories I've ever heard.
The wildest shit ever.
You literally told me you got catfish, and you still decided to pull up, and then you ate her cookies, which could have been poisonous. They could have been like,
I didn't even think about that.
You ate them, but you ate them, and then on top, she still gave you mouth from a stranger, because this ain't the same person that catfished you. This is a cool new person.
And
she was being a
I love
whore.
it. Hey, I love the story, I have a similar story, but I'm not telling
you. Cookies though, bro.
Oh no, you gotta tell it. You gotta tell it. We need to know.
We need stories.
That nigga went in that abandoned building and got his boots knocked.
And some cookies.
Got your fucking Jordans knocked loose.
Nah.
Do you think her?
Is she top 5?
Say that way, y'all.
Top 5.
All y'all niggas talking at the same time. I can't hear y'all.
She top 5. And she made history in your life, but she top 5.
Yeah, I mean,
nigga pants was soaked when she was
Danger, danger.
Nah, because it was like this. She probably is between her and this other Haitian girl.
That's beautiful.
They just use like they just use the most spit I've ever seen a mouth produce. So like it was just
top 5 though.
Yes, I was.
That's life changing.
Cookie bacon, top 5 head.
Cookie monster.
Bro, if she's a catfish,
building,
she gotta compensate somehow, bro. Like
she royally
dilapidated and he went in there.
Dilapidated. Nigga, it wasn't an abandoned building. It was a nice furnished
She just had her
nigga-
lights off. She had her lights off
Jax-
so you couldn't see the shadow of her cellulite.
And
Jax
Jax
got head.
But it didn't
Jax-
matter because she had top 5
They
head.
could have killed you.
Yeah.
That's why I told you it's like going into one of them abandoned
They killed
vans,
you.
bro. Like
Jax
it's
went
like,
in that
yo, I got
bando.
cookies
Lights
in the
off, you didn't
van.
ask no questions. Like, damn, it's not this dark in here.
Right.
But Jax is
He knew it was dark
shoulders
enough
are
for
so
that.
big he can handle himself.
I'm gonna
Hey,
be
Jax. Jax, I know that energy. I know that energy.
That's hilarious.
I want to know if,
That-
if I'm in top 5 or top 10 of the head giving. Like that's kind of like an
That
I had,
nigga
You
went
got
in
a
there.
head
similar
fast?
situation. I had a similar situation to that, but it was
You went into
slightly
a trap
different.
house too?
No. So this is literally the first date I ever went on after me and my ex-wife broke up, right? So this is my introduction to like dating. Like I didn't know like what because I hadn't been on the market for like 7 years, so I don't know how dating is. Okay. I go on a date site. Someone told me, yo, you should get into I think it was POF. So
Not that.
this girl, we supposed to go to the movies. When I get to the movies, when she meets me at the movies, she looks she looks different from what I thought she would look. First of all, she looks like she was like 20, 30 pounds heavier. That's first of all. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, whatever, man. I'm gonna go to the movies. Whatever.
In the South, that's manageable. Well, go ahead.
Huh?
I said in the South, that's manageable. But go ahead.
Bruh, yeah. So I'm like, you know what? Let's go to whatever. We already here at the movies. Whatever. Let's go. Right. So mind you, me, this is my introduction to dating. So I go and we watching this movie. I kind of put my arms around her, like that slick move, like oh, right?
So let me, Vic said, let me pull my old shit out.
So, but my hand kind of grazed the side of her breast or whatever the case is. I don't know what that did to her.
Man,
She
nipples
was
on.
on some like, yo, do that again. And I'm like, okay, bro. Mind you, me, keep in context. We at a movie. This is my introduction to dating. She says, once she's doing that, I guess she's getting riled up. She's like, yo, I want to taste you. Bruh.
Consent. Come on,
Less
Vic.
than 2 seconds later, like my whole joint is outside. Keep in mind, we in the movie.
That was on
theater,
Court
bro.
Street.
But wait, was it a
was it?
was
Yeah,
it
it
a
was
No, it was
blockbuster movie?
Pavilion. You know the one that's like
Yep.
right across the street from
Yep.
yeah. So
Was it people next to you?
no, I'm gonna show you how much there wasn't people next to me, right? I pulled my joint out. She started going ham, bruh, in the movie theater. I'm gonna show you how much there was no one in the movie theater. I actually stood up with my drawers at my ankles, bro.
Yeah.
I actually was standing there and my drawers on my ankles
Ass
and she
out.
going
Ass out.
berserk.
Are you serious?
Ass out.
If I'm lying, I'm dying. Like my
I love
cheeks was facing the screen, bro. Like,
Anybody
Bruh.
be my job was getting the whole truth.
bruh. So this happens for a good 5 minutes. Then it hits me, bro. You literally in a movie theater with your drawers to your ankles. Like anybody could walk into this movie and see this.
Yeah.
So from there,
wait, was your pants touching the floor, the movie floor?
No, they like how
Was
you
around your
straddle it
ankles?
enough so that the whole thing is not on the floor.
Oh, all right.
It's
On top of your
it's
socks
at like
and
your
sneakers.
calves.
Man,
I was like, nigga, you
goddamn,
gotta throw them pants away, nigga.
that spit
Bruh,
was
like-
running into your sock.
Bro,
Oh,
all I
my
can,
God.
it took me 5 minutes to realize, bro, you had a movie theater. I don't think you should like. If someone opened the door, we both getting kicked out.
Oh,
And
my
from there,
God.
All I can say is COVID has ruined me.
bro, let me tell you. No, this is like, when did I break up? Like this is like 2012 or 13. This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
And so from there, I'm like, bruh, there was a telly that I used to go to, whatever. Oh, whatever. I'm not getting into that.
We got some of those.
Yeah, you remember that?
Because you gotta remember, I just said this is my first introduction to getting, after
One of
me
them
getting a
hourly
divorce.
spots.
So whatever. So we go over there and I go ham or whatever the case is. But all I remember thinking to myself, yo, I hadn't been in the market for 7 years, and this was my intro to dating, bro. I'm
You was
like,
batting
yo, y'all,
1,000.
this is how y'all giving it up in this dating scene right now? Like,
Yo, do you
He
remember?
said this is new.
Do you remember what movie it was?
nah, bro. I think it had something to do with a
Asking the important
magician, I
question.
think. Like, I don't remember, bro.
It obviously wasn't good. Nobody was in that, dude.
It was probably having
Nah,
fun.
but it was like the middle of the day, whatever.
It
Like
was
that's
probably
I went to a matinee.
having fun with Dick and Jane.
probably, yo. And yo, Rod, you know that movie theater? That's a white neighborhood, bro. That's not even like the joke. You know what I'm talking about? The one that's across the street from Prospect Park.
Mm-hmm.
That's a white neighborhood. So that like right there, bro, that's a whole different. Like you get caught in there, that's your ass, man. This is not like the hood movie theater, Court Street, and all this other stuff. Nah, man.
Oh my
Like
god.
Yeah, you get caught in a theater like that, you ended up with a red dot on your house for the rest of your life.
Bruh. Yo, all I kept on thinking, like I went home. You know how you go home and you just like, did that really just happen? Like that's all I just like kept on circling in my mind. Like, yo, this really just happened. Two things circling in my mind. This really just happened. And yo, y'all wilding in this dating scene. Like, yo, like,
But you was
yo,
hyped though, nigga. You was
Crazy,
like,
man.
hell
hell
yeah.
yeah.
Spot and everything.
Hey, brother, I appreciate you, brother, for the coach.
Was she a catfish?
For the culture.
Yeah, and it really was a catfish because she didn't look. Like I said, that's not how I thought she was gonna look at all.
Yeah, the extra pounds one of her jaws.
What's she top for?
Hey,
That's hilarious.
there's nothing wrong with being catfished as long as you fry the catfish and eat it at the
Because obviously,
He said we like this.
Yo, get the
Hey.
fuck off of here.
obviously, catfish
This
can't
dude
be fish.
say, yo, as long as you fry it up, bro. Like,
I don't think that's
Yeah,
what
I haven't heard a bad story yet.
You
I haven't
feel
heard
me?
a bad story yet. All of them
Oh,
happy
Catfish
endings.
head is a thing, Chris.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna
I've
find
been
out, but
missing out on catfish head all this time.
Hey, listen,
Yeah.
man.
but the
It's
only thing that
behind me.
you know what caught me the most? The fact that it was that simple to just like graze the side of your breast, and you was like, yo, I feel like tasting you right now. And I just put my and you were already on it. Like part of me was like, yo, what's going on? Like,
Oh my god.
She said, "Oh, do it again. Touch me again. Touch me on the inside part."
Was that
bruh.
shit? Was it
That's
top
all it
five?
had to
though?
do. I would be grazing titties all the
Yeah,
time.
top five,
You
bro.
feel me?
She had big titties. Her breast was big.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, see? Maybe
It
the
was the
sensitive ones.
it was the left titty or the right one. I gotta figure out which one I'm a graze.
It was the
I
left.
did with my left, like I put my left, so it had to be
He
a
really
The
left.
left titty. It was the
Yeah.
left titty.
really answering.
Son, listen, man.
I know titties. It was the left titty.
Look how he's smiling as he's saying this story.
Nah, man, that was
Yeah.
wild though, bro. Like I had like a couple more moments with her. I was trash back
Couple
then.
more moments. Check you
A
out.
couple more.
Nah, you know what I did one
Let's go a
time?
level
Like,
deeper.
so one time she asked, like, I was terrible, bro. Like I remember one time, I was terrible. I ain't even gonna tell that story, but yeah, I was a terrible human being around that time. Like,
Man. What's
yeah,
the
I was.
wildest, like what's like the most like this like trashiest place a bitch ever like sucks your dick though? Was that it? Like just like where you were happy to get the dick sucked, but you was like low key embarrassed for her.
In the Bronx, bro. In the Bronx. I'll tell you this story right here, right?
Where?
Got head in the butt.
So I used to work Yellow Cab, right? There's this chick I used to
Bronx is
deal
dirty.
with. There's this chick I used to deal with or whatever. I didn't really used to deal with her like that. Like this was probably the second time I ever did anything with her. And I'm surprised she gave me a second chance because the first time I did, your boy couldn't even get up. So I'm surprised she even gave me a second opportunity. It was one of those things where you go in the bathroom, you like, bruh, like Don't embarrass me right now.
At the pep talk.
So I'm surprised she gave me a second chance.
Yo,
I've
had to do that before. I'd be like,
for real, bro.
When you got to give yourself a pep talk, be like, now look, me and you,
I ain't gonna hold y'all.
go in here,
I would
we
not
knock this
know.
out.
Bruh, like I'm
I
like,
ain't gonna
yo,
hold
so
y'all.
what you
I would not
doing,
know
bro?
about
Like
this.
I'm looking at her like, what you doing right now?
Meredith,
Like,
now you out of
whatever.
pocket. You out of
Bro,
pocket, Meredith. Stop.
So she
Wet
gave me a
noodle.
second chance, right? So we go to the Bronx. She know I'm going to the Bronx. I'm thinking I'm going to her crib, right? So the thing is, when I used to do yellow cab, that's a 12-hour shift, bro. I'm talking about that's a long shift. So by the time I finish, I'm tired, and I didn't have a car at that time, so I had to take the train from Brooklyn to the Bronx. All right, that's a long ride.
yeah.
So I'm like, I bet we meet up. She like, yo, let's get some food first. So I'm kind of
There
tight
you
because
go.
I'm in a
Chopped cheese.
Popeyes,
Okay.
bro. I'm in a Popeyes eating chicken, and I'm like, hold up, man.
She
Like,
didn't
why
take you
you
for no
made
chopped
me
cheese?
come all the way from the Bronx to go get chicken, bruh? Like, I'm
Yeah, she
tight
wasn't a
right
real
now.
one,
Like,
bro.
and she like, yo, I got people at my house, blah, blah, blah. My aunt's still home. I'm like, whatever. So now we go to her building. Bro, we can't even. The whole time I'm trying to figure out, because she ain't told me yet. The whole time I'm trying to figure out why we not going up. She like, yo, my aunt is home, blah, blah, blah. Bro, so I'm in these Bronx building that kind of look like the PJs, but it's not, right? Bro, why am I getting hit in the staircase, bro? And what makes it worse is I'm
Sure.
getting thrown in the staircase. Every time you hear someone opening the door upstairs, like I have to stop and like look.
She had chicken grease on her lips.
No, she ain't eat the chicken. I've known that I really ate the chicken, but it's just the principle. Don't make me come all the way to the Bronx thinking we're gonna do something. I'm eating Popeye's chicken, bro. Like, I was
And
vegan. So anyway, so we in the building, and I'm telling you, every time the door open, I gotta stop. Like, yo, chill, chill, chill. Let me look.
Yo, chill.
Bruh, that was like the worst, bruh, because I couldn't fully enjoy it because I was mad paranoid. It's different if I'm in Brooklyn, right? And this is happening. At least I know my escape route. I know how to get around. Bro, I'm in the Bronx, bro. In a random building that looked like the area ain't the safest. In some random building, bro. Like it was the worst feeling, bro. I just remember like taking that train ride home and being tight, bro. Like,
No, that reminds me of the it was matter of fact, I think this was like one of the first couple of Patreon episodes that I did. And I was talking about the one time that I don't even want to say this on record, but I was 19 and I ended up getting hair from a girl who was underage, but I didn't know that she was underage or whatever, right? And the way that I found out that she was
Allegedly.
huh?
Yeah, legend, bro.
Just say allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly. She was allegedly underage or whatever. But the way that I found out was
You're not admitting to shit.
was
You got
like
some ops in here.
So I met her. I was in St. Louis, allegedly, and I was driving my.
That's not the thing you should be saying alleged to, bro. Like,
There we go. You was in
they
St.
don't
Louis.
care about the location. They care about the act, bro. All right.
But nah, I
St.
was
Louis doing chicken head.
Somewhere.
But I wasn't doing the chicken head. But I was like, it was a night where I had my mom's car, and she had just got like a new car or whatever. So it was like, super nice and shit. But I was just by myself. Like none of my homies was at the crib. I was home from college or whatever. And I was basically just kind of like joyriding one night on some parking lot shit, like riding by the clubs that I wasn't old enough to get into yet, just to kind of see what the vibe was. And I pull up next to this car and it got like two girls in it. And I start talking with one of the girls, which happened to be her. And we exchanged numbers. I was like, I'm 19. I was like, how old are you? She was like, I'm 18. So I'm like, all right, bet. What's your number? Yada yada yada. Get the number, and then maybe a couple of days go by, hit her up, and I go to her crib. And she live with her parents or whatever, which at 18, like that shit that's nothing, there's nothing wrong with that. Or nothing like even abnormal about it. So I go over there, we go in the basement, we chilling. Her whole family is like upstairs, like maybe like her brothers or sisters, mom, dad, all upstairs. So we just down at in the basement, and she's like pulling my dick out, like trying to like suck on the shit. And like her dad is at like the top of the steps. And I'm just like, I had the same feeling of you in this fucking staircase. Like I'm just like looking up every time. Cause what it was like, like that the way that basements are, I mean, obviously like they got steps, and so you could hear people's footsteps, but you could also like see people's feet before you can actually see their whole body. So I'm just like looking up because I'm like, all right, I got about 5. I could withstand like 5 steps. Like I got like a 5-step margin before like I gotta like really put my dick back in my pants or what have you.
He's trying to budget time. Put his
Depending
dick
on how
away.
fast she's going, that's like at least 10 strokes.
Yeah, okay, all right. And she was I was the more nervous one because I'm like the outsider, like you know what I'm saying, like at least you fucking live here, they're not gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? But they see just a strange ass nigga down here getting his dick sucked by your daughter, like you gonna spaz the fuck out of me. So this goes on for like 10 minutes where she's like, you know what I'm saying, giving me like 4 or 5 mouth strokes at a time or whatever. And then like we both like looking at the top of the step, like just to make sure that her pop not coming down. And one time, like her pop actually did come down. So like she take my dick out of her mouth and then like put it back in my pants and shit. And we just on some goofy shit, like acting like we ain't doing shit, like real stiff and all that. And the dad, he starts like spazzing on the daughter or whatever. And he actually, and I commend him for this, like he showed me some respect because he was just like, when he first came down there, he was just like, yo, bro, like you gotta leave. Like he wasn't like wild and crazy with it. He was like, yo, bro, you gotta leave or whatever. So I gather my shit and I'm getting my shit, I'm walking out. And after he addresses me and basically tells me I gotta go, then he starts spazzing on her because that's his daughter and shit. So as I'm like walking out the door, going back to my mom's car to drive to the crib, I hear him yelling at her on the inside, like, what the fuck is you doing? You got these niggas over here. You always got niggas over here. That nigga look grown as hell. You only motherfucking 16 years old. And I'm walking to the car and I hear this shit. And I like stop in my tracks. I'm like 16. I was like, first of like I had like a couple.
She knows what she's doing.
My first thought was like 16. And then my second thought was like, why are you sucking dick so excellently at 16? Because she had her mouth was like, she was like half amphibian because like her mouth was just like super slippery. Like
it was
bye, y'all.
Like it was
Bye.
Like her mouth, like have you ever seen okra? Like how slick okra is? Like her whole mouth was like a mouthful of okra.
That's the biggest fear of the running into your socks, out there, bro.
I will tell you a tip a white girl gave me. A white girl gave me a tip to making it super sloppy. And what's funny is Jai knows this white girl. She actually taught me how to make it.
That nigga said, I do.
This is legendary. That's all right.
They don't do everything, but them bitches suck dick better than us. God damn it. They do.
That ain't true, man.
I've heard, but
I would have to verify this information. Like,
I can verify that information.
Anyway,
I used to think like that too, but I'm like,
let her tell the secret. Let her tell the secret so we can tell all of our women.
So you have to just relax first of fucking all.
All right, no,
Okay.
black women ain't gonna do
Relax.
that. They ain't gonna
All
relax.
Relaxation is good.
Open your mouth as wide as you can, but let it go back until you think you're gonna choke, but it's mind over matter, like a motherfucker.
You gotta lay your head down. If you lay down on a lap, it's a lot easier because then you don't feel like you about to. Yeah, I got.
So
Yo, why y'all telling us to take? We not the one doing this. It's not like I'm gonna write these notes down.
Listen, because for those of you, if she's
like,
not comfortable doing it, you can tell her like, go now, get a pillow. Like if you lay down this, like you can help get yourself better head.
Okay, yeah, being comfortable is important. Okay, all right.
And then like you just close your eyes and just like fuck it, bitch, take the dick. And you go all the way back, it's going to naturally, your mouth is going to produce more saliva. If you let it go back a little bit deeper and like back by your tonsils, it just magically happens. And it's a different texture. So it's like thicker, like that okra texture.
Like the I'm about to throw up saliva.
But you're not going to throw up.
No, but I'm
because that saliva gets thicker.
But I'm saying, like, you know how when you're about to throw, when you're about to throw up because you spit different. I know that sounds crazy. Pause.
So
But
the saliva gets like that, and men can't fucking take it. I literally got a down payment on a house doing that shit.
Look at this nigga, like he's like, I know her. I know her.
That's what I'm talking about. Who taught me how to do it?
What's her what's her situation? She's married.
I can't even put her out there like that, but she has a very unique situation. But let's just say her head game, she taught me how to do this. Her head game got her married, baby, woo woo woo, like that.
And she an oracle, bro.
Come on now.
So now,
I want to
look,
talk to
Meredith, the next time I'm in Arizona, you're gonna have to, show me this technique. I just want to make sure that you up to snuff. You're paying good attention to your lessons.
Whoa!
You're on mute.
Whoa! Who just shot from 3?
Yo,
this nigga said up to snuff.
Son, the oracle gave her the
Come on now.
Mr. Miyagi gave her the
That's fucking hilarious.
Mr. Miyagi was like, yo.
Look, all I'm gonna say is too many women don't understand the concept of hitting it back in the throat where you get that thick spit. That shit's like lube, man. Y'all be sitting here like
I heard something.
It's essential.
I heard something that a lot of women don't deal with, and you said you have to be comfortable. And that is the number one trick. If she's comfortable, she'll learn, she'll take that advice. You could even run the shit she just told you to her, as long as she's comfortable.
But you gotta get on her, like on his lap.
Let her see.
Yep.
And
What
if
you
you have
say?
really gag reflex,
Or over the bed.
hang your head over the side of the bed.
I don't know. She might think she might fall. I don't know. You got to be sturdy for that one.
Thick thighs save lives, though. Thick thighs save lives. Even on
I mean, you ain't never lied.
The white girl theory, I would have to test that out. But I like, listen.
I'm familiar. Not with the white girl, but the theory.
This is just me personally. Like my experience, like I think that white women suck dick faster, but I feel like black women suck dick better. Like it's more style. Like they got more style. Or at least like the white women that I've come across who gave me head and shit like that.
We go in because I just could say like me, like it's just especially on a black man, they just so not used to it, and they're so not used to a woman who's doing it. And the best thing you can do, ladies, is be like, fuck this weave, fuck my hair, and give him some sloppy, nasty ass fucking shower head. Shower head is the best. And I don't give a fuck. Like I had a weave up, and if it gets wet, it gets wet. He gonna pay for it.
Tracks out everything.
That shit would turn me the fuck on. I ain't gonna hold.
Yeah,
if you was willing to get your hair wet while giving me head, that shit would turn me all the way the fuck on.
Yo, he's like, she really cares.
Since we giving out secrets. Wait, since we giving out secrets, right? Let me hit y'all niggas with a little secret sauce as well. Pause. You know what I'm saying? So if you know that you fuck with a lot of black chicks, right? and they top priorities are gonna be their hair and probably like, oh, don't like get it in my eye or fuck up my makeup. So
Close your eyes.
I'll always keep an extra fresh do-rag in the crib that I don't, that ain't for me.
It's for the bitches.
It's for the bitches.
For the bitches.
So you know what I'm saying? You ain't even,
Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying. So you don't have to, you don't necessarily, even if you got a wig or you got your natural shit, you just, you know, that cyclone hairdo y'all do so it don't fuck up. I got satin, and my do-rags is satin, so it's like having a satin pillowcase.
Yes.
That's
you know what I'm
thoughtful.
saying? So you can wrap your shit up in the satin. You're not gonna fuck it up. If you got a wig, you just, you know, do whatever. I'm looking into investing in one of those mannequin heads. Because
the beauty supply store.
If you just gotta, you know, you might just have to take your hair hat off so you can do your thing. You know, and then
hair hat.
Listen, once the mix is out.
And then I have I also have extra. I call them nut glasses. So I have glasses just in case, like, your fear is like, oh, I don't want to get nut in my eye. So I just have shades.
Close your eyes, bitch.
You really got goggles?
I don't have goggles. I got shades like on deck.
You looking for them right? Nah.
I got a whole bunch of shades.
That's very caring and considerate. You got
I got them in every room. I got some right here. You don't like these?
Wow, not the splashes.
I admire that, Jackson. You got splash.
Wow.
Oh, those are nice.
You look like, no, I don't like those.
You like the dark ones.
Those are just travel put on. Don't put
little splash glass.
The splash glasses.
Splash. Wow.
That's merch right there. That's
you should coin that.
That's merch. Jay Jackson splash glass.
You should coin that.
God.
You should coin that.
You talk about getting some subs.
That's real.
Two more.
Your do-rag might not be big enough. Go get a scarf.
He lost his
The beauty
momentum
supply
on the
store.
cum rag. He had the cum rag idea. He lost his momentum on it. Another company came out with it.
I know.
I said, Jackson.
I know.
You better put some money behind it.
We need a cum rag. We need a cum rag.
And no, that's nasty.
I don't know if anybody can really redo this design that I got hanging up though.
Let me see.
I don't know.
You don't need a cum rag if she swallows.
It's the one on the
that part.
This nigga crazy.
That part.
Nah, it's the one that's always is hanging off the TV and literally every single video that I do. It's the girl.
And as much water as you drink, I'm sure it tastes great. It tastes like broccoli, but it tastes like great.
Broccoli.
That nigga be drinking mad soda. Don't get it twisted.
I be drinking soda.
His shit
But I'm
come out
saying
like syrup.
that's why I gotta get my water intake because I know I'm gonna have a soda at the end of the night.
You gotta start.
Jackson nut be thick like syrup.
No,
drinking all that soda.
No,
yeah,
it don't.
High fruit.
But people like syrup on their pancakes.
Oh my lord.
What syrup?
On their pancakes. Yo,
It
y'all
is good for your skin.
Yo, I just ordered these. Yo, Nick, remember when we was shooting something last year and I was doing that? I was trying to advertise for our New York show before it got canceled because of the COVID shit.
Yeah.
I had those like nut pills.
Nut pills.
You
What's
had
the
a
nut
what?
pills?
All right,
It's like the gas station pills.
No, they not gas station pills though. All right, so I was watching